spirit. Mizzino is excellent in that series. We'll see if he can replicate it again today with playoffs on the line. The winner of this series moves on to the playoffs. They play a seeding match later on to determine where, but they are locked into the Cathedral. Losing team has a couple more cracks at it later on in the tournament. sAw's going to start on the CT side. Mongols attacking into them on Ancient. They've got Smoke Flash on Blitz. But starting out in the early round, a little bit spread. 3 towards the B bomb site, 1 watching mid, 1 watching passively outside of A.
So many players making their debut here at the Industry Masters Cologne. And now 1 best of 3 away from the playoffs. 9-10 making his way out elbow. That P250 not spotting its target just yet. Story plays with the crossfire. Arisdose out donut, Story in the cutout. And 9-10 is crossed under those boxes at the ledge. He'll take a few steps forward. His teammates are currently occupying B lane, and 9-10 begins the first fight of this round. He's drawn away from the attention of Story, who takes that headshot. Mongols getting ever closer to the B-bomb site.
Yeah, he realized the danger of that stack a little bit too late, backing off, trying to adjust, but they still have an avenue into the B-bomb site. Smoke down, a little bit damage on a Techno. They cannot block off long, but the bomb is able to cross safely. It's a retake scenario for sAw. They've got no kits and no more utility.
Gutierrez getting ever closer to Techno, who just swings out with a headshot, and Techno says hello in this pistol round. It is death to 3, make it 4, and that's why they call him the 4K. Mizzino around the backside closes out this pistol, and the Mongols crush down on that B-bomb site.
sAw never organized a swing with multiple players. They didn't expect the contact on the first fight, but after that, everyone just slid into it 1 by 1. Techno, I mean, beautiful shots, but you're given every chance to grab 4 kills. They're just swinging into his crosshair. Nicely done. 4v5 pistol converted for Mongols. And the stellar individual play from the Mongolians continues. This round staying grouped up with all the rifles over the pistols that sAw has purchased up into the second round. Walk and trade their way out A main if they encounter any difficulties. The question becomes, do you respect the smoke? And yeah, with AKs against the pistols, no reason to voluntarily take your advantages away by walking through smoke. Have to imagine they're just going to come back to this hit at the A bomb site at the moment, spreading back out and making sure nobody pushed B, nobody pushed middle, nobody's got a good read, a good flank on them. But it'll still make you a little bit nervous if you're Mongols, because you haven't applied pressure anywhere on the map. You haven't made noise anywhere on the map, so a little bit of mid-utility is going to go a long way. Red room smoked off. Molly for the mid-cubby. 4 players making their way out.
.40 seconds left. Finally, sAw applying some pressure towards middle, but that's spotted out by Techno, and they charge down this donut. 1 kill from Arisdose, traded out by 9-10. Story swinging out from red. Techno's rifle should be superior in that fight, certainly will prove to be eventually, but they're taking damage on board here, the Mongols, and they aren't in the sight just yet. 16 seconds left, not a lot of time. Ball plant denied, and 10 seconds left. That Roman 5-7 has destroyed this Mongols round. Senzu can't win it. He hops back into the temple, and sAw answer back instantly after losing the pistol round.
I think Mongols gave him way too much respect. That was such a slow round from them of not challenging and not having presence on the map, and you run into a little bit of difficulty. So much damage is done by pistols and deagles and losing efforts, and Roman's just here for the cleanup. Easy kills. Everyone down in red when he turns into donut.
The Mongols have that 1 AK saved over. They've got the rest on Tech 9s. They can bounce back here. Through the fire they go. Charging into the B-bomb site.
Oh, they got space to work with, baby. This is on. This is going to be a challenge for sAw. Cave is smoked off. Long is held at bay for the moment until U-Jerks arrives.
He's just been so good, and he's got a double back again. 910 uncomfortable on default, spam down, combined with utility to remove 910 from inside of the site. It's Blitz looking to put the pieces together.
He's got HP and an AK though. He can cause more economic damage. Win is not really seeming likely at the moment. And they wrap around him before he expects it.
So Mongolz got space up that B-bomb side, but really couldn't work with it. U-Jerk shut that gap down real quick, and they delayed the plant consistently, and the bomb actually just rolls down long here on...
Yeah, that was the first delay, and then the Molotov stream in.
Yeah.
All the reinforcements arrived from sAw, and just you can't get that bomb planted. Fire at your feet every single time. 2-1, and Mongolz forced back to Glocks.
Blitz will play with the Deagle, everybody else, yeah. Just default pistols. Not expected to get a good result out of this round. And we talk about the amount of players that you get out of Mongolia and how the side of Mongolz have made some roster moves over the last few years. And every time you feel like, okay, that probably will be the end of their upset potential, they got better. Somehow they just kept finding extra players. And a lot of that comes from what Blow was saying on the desk, is the fact that there was a time that inspired a lot of these young Mongolians to start playing Counter-Strike. And that was TheMongolz back in Taipei, making a run against the Renegades and being able to inspire the next generation to come up. And these guys would have been very young back then, 10 years old, a lot of them, some of them even younger than that. And so now they're in a position where they're the ones that are going to be inspiring the Mongolians at home.
I was casting that game, that Mongolz versus Renegades.
That's crazy to think about.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, you remember that, Jason?
Like it was yesterday. I only remember it because that's the match where Sponge was playing.
Yeah.
On Inferno, it was the old Inferno, and one of his teammates got killed carrying the bomb, and it fell in like an impossible crack in the map that they couldn't recover, and that's how they lost the swing round. Flames at their feet, Mongolz push forward.
Oh, this is a charge forward indeed. Blitz at the front of this attack. Techno's taking a lot of damage. That grenade will soar over the top of his head and catch him. So he's down. Mazinho falls, and it is starting to look a little uncomfortable here for the Mongolz. They've tried back-to-back B hits. They're now getting involved in some fights to even out those numbers, and they finally get the bomb down. That's a big difference in what we've seen previously for them as they look to try and hold on to this post plan. It's easier said than done with damaged players. And two coming out of the cave for sAw. They line up for 910. That's a triple, and Story's locked outside. Smoke is up on his left side now. He can isolate that fight on 910 in the site, but 910 shouldn't give him anything, and he won't. He'll stay disciplined and sends those spams down through that smoke, and the Mongolz finally break through their barrage on the B site.
Felt like sAw had the advantages considering the HP of Mongolz, and that's a big-time step up from 910, swinging into a fight and having him line up with a double kill. Absolutely perfect, and just what Mongolz needed to secure the round. They've attacked B a number of times, and they've kind of used the same utility. So if you're sAw, if you're one of these B players, you're saying, look, they're not smoking long. When you guys rotate over, like, you have some angles at long. We can actually pressure from this position. They're not smoking it, because as you saw from Senzu, the Mongolz actually want to take control of it. They think that's a big pressure point. Oh, back to the B-bomb.
Oh, they're going for it again. Blitz at the front, straight through the head of U-Jerks. He's damaged. Roman comes in to trade it, but Mazinho's so fast in that MAC-10 that kill doesn't really matter. And for sAw, it happens so quickly. It happens so fast. It has to be a save call. The Mongolz into B again. I am loving this from the Mongolz.
Yeah, no brains, all brawn. They've broken through twice in a row now, and this is running through Molotovs as well. This is not a low econ sAw defense. There's flames on that ramp. There's nades and flashbangs coming in, and they just don't care.
No other option but to save. You get that up over for Story in the next round. You get these rifles. If you lost all of that, you have no money left over. And Story's op is holding for T-Spawn.
Story's op has been critical for sAw. Some of the best games we've seen them play is when his op is having impact. And the way it changes things. U-Jerks and Arisdose are logging good performances here in Cologne as well. Roman has had some pop-off games.
A lot of praise from Bubsky on the desk about U-Jerks and him being one of the most interesting players in European Counter-Strike at the moment for Bubsky. That's high praise, and I think, you know, U-Jerks has definitely been so pivotal in what has been the best year of sAw's Counter-Strike careers.
Yeah, absolutely. He was one of the main powerhouses to get him to qualify to the major, their first major. They had attempted it in every single one of CSGO, and they make it to the first one in CS2 after failing for so many years. But talking to them at that event, and even the, the disappointing finish, I thought they'd be, challenging for a spot in the playoffs, and they fell short. It's all about experience and learning, and that's kind of like the contrast you have on this team is the younger players of Story, Arizdos, and U-Jerks, and then you have Mutiris and Roman, who have been around forever. And getting those guys that experience in tournaments on LAN and everything that goes into it and how you prepare for your opponents. If the first half of the year was just a learning experience for them, this second half of the year should see them start to come into their own. And that might be what provides sAw with the playoffs here in Cologne.
Blitz is bruised very slightly by that early utility. Being disruptive, being a nuisance, selling more presence than really exists in mid, because once again, the Mongols have their sights set on the B-bomb site. Will they clear out Cubby? They're not looking for Roman, and his empire begins with just one kill on that P250. Cleared out by Techno, and Story is far removed from this one, other side of the map. It's B again, Jason.
That's got to be so frustrating. It's not a rush this time. They just changed the pacing and the timing of it, but it was stacked. There were 4 people there, and you still can't hold on to it. So got to be some mounting frustration for sAw, just saying, yeah, we'll put 4 people here if you're going to keep rinsing and repeating. But still can't stop. Mongols regains the lead. Not doing anything fancy just yet, just overrunning the defense everywhere they go. Next round will be another full buy from sAw. They have plenty of money.
Yeah, and I think Story's going to start getting frustrated that he's had this off for multiple rounds now, and he's never really been able to be in a position to get involved.
Great, put him on the B-bomb site.
Yeah, they need to put him over there perhaps. But he hangs on to it against Techno right at the end. All
right, bro, your turn. Come on over. Come see what it's like.
And then they go out. Could happen. Let's see what Blitz is masterminded here for his side. There's no way, Jason. I love it. They got 4 players heading to B again.
Story's here, and he's at long where they haven't been smoking, but an op to challenge him, and he's going to win that out.
Yeah, that's the difference. Story's op comes on over. 910 was boosted up in that top box, and look at U-Jerks. He's going on this. He's pushing down that ramp with a space created by the AWP, and he's seen enough of Mizinho. He takes that headshot, and he ducks out of there.
Yeah, Mizinho never knew he was showing through that smoke. That probably scared him a little bit as he goes down. Story.
Oh, no way.
Not prepared, and Blitz rips his head off. Over towards Donut we go.
Mutiris readying himself. Molotov is going to heat up the back of that donut. U-Jerks starting to come through red. He can cut them off here, but they start to read it. They start to read this play. He'll dish out even damage on both players. Mutiris misses the timing to be able to capitalize on that initial damage, and Mongols get out of there somehow with a 3v3.
Yeah, that's actually really cool from Mongols. We've seen all their aggressive B brawly plays. Now we're getting a little bit of the tactical mind games. Pressuring Donut, grabbing some kills, falling away.
Senzu watching as Mutiris is now stuck inside of the donut. Smoke goes up for defense. The bomb is making its way out of A main right now, but that donut player is completely focused on the mid fight. 25 seconds, Senzu crosses in behind him. They're clearing the donut. They know this is an awkward fight. And Mutiris, he's gone into middle. He's gone all the way to red. And donut's now empty. So Blitz can plant that bomb for a donut post plant, and Senzu has a powerful position to play.
Oh, they're not aware of Temple, though. This timing is perfect for Arizdos. And now I don't know what you do if you're Senzu. One's going to lurk middle. He'll wait for some kind of contact to occur.
Oh, Roman's the first fight, and it's the first fight. That's all that's needed there for sAw. They top the scoreline 4-4, and that difference is just Story being over on that B-bomb side, picking off 910, frees up U-Jerks to walk down the ramp, and he comes away with a second opener.
And also the other problem with that for Mongols was, you sent all 5 players towards the B-bomb site, hoping that 910 would provide you that pick, and then you can kind of stream in. But when you have all 5 players here and that initial play goes against him, Story gets the frag, you don't have any map control elsewhere. So it's like as a pack, you have to move and readjust across a very large map with no information. And a timeout taken from Mongols. How long do they want to keep up just this storming of the B-bomb site?
Do you think this is the end of it now? after that adjustment to bring the AWP over? Do you feel like finally it's the end of that road for Mongols?
It feels like it should be. I think we're going to get at least one more of them at some point in the final 4 rounds of this half. They'll go back to it at least one more time. I think this round will be a little different.
And that conversation now likely being had in the timeout. Once again, 3 players positioned outside of B, and they're going to go for this fight up the ramp. It works. It works completely. Roman split wide open. Utrecht's coming in to try and plug that gap, but Mongols have created panic now among the sAw defense.
They don't need to hit this. They don't need to if they don't want to. Oh, Utrecht steps in front of the Molotov.
It's a sick maneuver for Utrecht because it does drop the bomb and cause a couple of problems now for Mongols to have to figure out. But utility is keeping them comfortable.
Yeah, but it's about to fade.
Oh, Mazinho's flank. Story's reading it. Story's ready for Red Room, but doesn't hit the shot. And that's a big kill for Mazinho. Now it's Mongols into the B bomb site, and sAw committed to this. So Arasdose still in middle. He can start that climb up ledge, but they're losing members with every second that ticks on, and now Arasdose spotted too. It's over. I mean, Tiras has nowhere to go because Red is cut off. Techno's charging him down, and Mongols go back to B.
I mean, if you're sAw, I think you just have to park the op there for the rest of the half. You just have to park Story. And actually, he can't even afford it right now, so maybe next round, but so much confidence right now in the Mongols, whether it's rushing, and we've seen them a couple times slow it down and hit a different timing where you're just kind of peeking into the B-bomb site to see what you can find, just taking a heads-up fight and winning them. I mean, I don't know. It's like, it's funny. You were asking me if is it going to change. sAw's having that same discussion.
It's like, when is it going to change? When are they eventually going to start focusing somewhere
like, we
else?
don't want to like overcompensate to the B bomb site because then we get hit at A or middle and we lose in that fashion. But at the same time, if Mongols is just going to keep bullying you this way, might as well take the risk. 9-10 backs away with the op to look for a push, and it's coming.
Good idea, 9-10. Oh, nice good information. They were boosted up. They do get away. They don't keep walking down into the scope. sAw do a good job at not putting themselves too far in danger's way. And they're stacking over to the other side of the map at the moment, so they're adjusting that defense.
Well, they're thinking like we just pushed down ramp and boosted up. You saw some pressure of a couple pistols there. We made presence in Cave and Jaguar earlier. You know, likely you guys are currently taking over mid, maybe Donut.
Yeah. But this is the Mongols B movie. Utrecht brings the Deagle over. Senzu clearing him out. Mazinho's got his back, and it's all clean for the Mongols. 6 rounds to 4, as this T side is simplistic yet effective. And sAw return to having enough cash, but they don't have enough to get the AWP out, it would seem here. So I think they got Story dropped over, so that's good enough. Yeah,
we'll see where he goes. I'm telling you, I think he's got to just be parked at B. Like, even as the opper, it's almost like saying... But then again, this is where the mind games of Counter-Strike come in and the things you have to process and think about and just at some point make an educated guess. So I was saying, yeah, we already put Story at B. He got us a kill. Now they know we're going to be buying again after a full save with heavy losing bonus, so we have an op out one more time. They'll know that. Do they just avoid the B bomb site now? Do they say the op is going to be here, so let's just hit A, force that into a retake? Getting this battered, sAw just have no real read of what Mongols are going to do.
I would just love if the Mongols went B again. I would just love it.
At this point, yeah, for the laughs.
Yeah. And just because it's probably going to work?
Nope.
Okay, a little change up.
Going towards A. No one's at the A bomb site.
Oh, Story is just wrecking them right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, especially when you win the B bomb site like 5 times and a half, like in multiple fashions. Like, it's such an advantage for an in-game leader to be able to just call circles around his opposition because he's got a pressure point that he can lean on.
Yeah, this is chess, and we're just living in Blitz's world. That was Dulce through CT. Matiras tries to hold from Donut. It's his second kill of this map. He stays alive, he gets back to safety. It's not the cleanest entry path here for the Mongols. Luckily, Blitz is still at elbow, and he cuts off Ujark's quick rotation. Now Matiras is a little worried because he could be pushed from Donut from mid. He also has to worry about shots ringing in from the site itself.
What is Blitz doing? He's going all the way back to the B bomb site, but the bomb is an A.
This is a long way to go.
This is a really long flank.
He's got a lot of time at least, but a lot has to go right for him for this to work.
It's not about his time. It's about how much time his teammates have to sit in the bomb site being safe with the potential of being flanked out.
Look at Matiras.
I think this is way too ambitious from Blitz.
He's gone back around middle through elbow. And with 40 seconds left, Blitz is on the B bomb site.
Yo, shout out to Senzu at 9-10.
How are they just still alive? It's just so silent, so sneaky. Blitz, there's 30 seconds left, buddy. Gotta get into a position you can impact this round now. 27 seconds. Matiras is on the flank. He's in behind him. 9-10 not considering this. Not considering whatsoever. That bomb goes down, and 9-10 moves away.
No way.
No way has this gone the Mongols' way. It's now 9-10 to the Tech 9. Blitz has got that kill on Story. This is one of the most ridiculous rounds of Counter-Strike. And 9-10 finally falls. Matiras gets rid of him. Sends it from the site. It's now Matiras all left alone. And Mongols pull it off. An ambitious round, and it has worked for Blitz. He gets that final kill. And 7 rounds to 4. The Mongols have an interesting ancient T side. This is crazy Counter-Strike.
That's a mental call to fall back and go for that big of a flank. That is such an insane call to make in that situation. But by virtue, I think at this point, Mongols have kind of put sAw in their place to a certain extent. Like, no one from sAw peeking, no one investigating. Matiras the second guessed that flank a number of times.
And now they brought out the auto sniper. The Mongols have come to play. They have leveled up in this competition. 9-10 close to that kill on Ujark's. Four players from the CT side start inside of the B bomb site.
I mean, I think they want to finish there again. But this time they want to get this wrap going.
Oh, one of their smokesmen.
But again, look at the outplay. You've abused B so many times. sAw puts 4 people here due to the fact that it's a low buy with SMGs. You have nobody in middle, and that's exactly what Mongols are exploiting right now. And Mazinho, he should have his pick of the litters of which frags do you want?
Well, he's used to blowing bubbles. Now he blows up this defense. Mazinho on that double headshot. Now Ujark's in the middle of the site getting pushed. He can't even finish off 9-10, who had to switch to the sidearm. What a half of Counter-Strike from the Mongols. They will exit it 8-4 scoreline. Blitz calls a beautiful T side. And then this decider matchup. And who is moving into the Lanxess? It's the Mongols that lead the way over sAw.
With the playoffs in sight, Mongolz is running circles around sAw. They win 7 of the final 8 rounds of the first half, abusing that B bomb site, putting sAw in their place. Now they switch sides with a heavy advantage. And let's see what Mongolz can do. About to close out map 1. They're so close.
Yeah, the CT side. Let's see what they've got on it. sAw looked completely lost as to what the Mongolz were doing in that first half. Now it's sAw's turn to show us what they can do on their T side. A pistol round feels necessary.
910's gonna get the early spot in Donut. Oh, and he swings out, sees 2, sticks around fighting, tapping away. Mid is compromised. Right through the mid smoke, sAw goes. They can split the map. They can split the defense. Blitz spots another one. 910 trying to take off ahead, but they need to do something at the A site.
Oh, Blitz fires the flash in. Story it doesn't really phase him, so he ends up getting that kill with the P250. Aris fighting back, and sAw are up 2 players. Bomb plant commitment. It's wild. Mazinho undetected, and suddenly, just like that, it's back in favor of the Mongols. And Aris the last remaining player. sAw had everything going their way. They commit to the plant, and from that point onwards, it completely unravels. It is Mongolian dominance in the pist around the close.
I think Mazinho taking down the planter causes Story to turn. I'm assuming that's what happened, that exposed him to the flank coming in. Mongols had no business winning this. Oh my lord, look at that long-range dually spray.
That's wild. Mine don't do that, that's for sure. 9-4. Ooh, it's getting rough for sAw. He didn't even get the bomb plant in the end, so it's not even a good force buy option here in the second. Missed smoke from Mongolz in elbow. Let's see if that does anything. Well, it's been detected nice and early from Blitz at least. And he'll re-smoke it out. sAw's best hope is to get a bomb plant out of this.
Unlikely. Mongols have complete control of B lane. All the information on that side of the map. Blitz had already spotted 1 or 2 over towards elbow. I say unlikely, but 910 is playing a little bit of a crazy position out in the open. He's just going for as many kills as possible. He's got a Molotov that he'll never be able to use once they attack.
Peek from 910. Oh, holds down must want a little bit of wild. Too many targets for him. And he goes around that corner. Couldn't make the decision, but Blitz will mow down the rest. It's 10-4 now, and double figures reached as sAw get their first buy here in the second half.
3 rounds away, Mongols. Couple of 3 SMGs still in the loadout. Good rotation from Blitz. 910 is going to pick up the AWP as soon as possible because AKs are out on the other side, utility is out on the other side, and sAw burn a second timeout to talk things over before these gun rounds begin. The first half was a disaster from them. They could never get control of the B bomb site, never get control of the defense. They want to change that. This T side, they know they have to come in hot. They have to deal a really heavy blow very early and close the gap in this scoreboard.
Yeah, Barry, he's going to be pretty stressed sitting behind that, watching his team 10-4 down.
Doesn't look stressed.
Not yet.
Actually, his legs are... He's moving his legs. He's stressed.
A little anxiety.
Yeah, it's just...
A little cough into the page.
Sure.
Oh. 4 rounds is not exactly a fantastic foundation to build your T side off. We'll see what they're able to construct. They're gathering up outside of A. There's no one home right now for the Mongols. Roman, does he walk through the smoke? Does he catch out Techno? Techno looks... Oh, God, it's so uncomfortable for Roman. Now the A play's coming in. Udrix needs to clean up Mazinho. Does so very effectively. Mazinho was in the open. Tough position to really get much out of. Even if he did get one, was likely traded right after.
Yeah, you can get away with that against unarmored Glocks like 910 did. You can't get away from it. Can't get away with it against AK-47s, but there's still a chance for recovery.
Oh, yeah, they just keep bringing the fights. They keep presenting them the opportunity to get back into these rounds.
These footsteps will be heard as well.
Matiras is now taking a shift walk into A main. Story plays from Brokey. There is utility, plenty of it for the Mongols left to get ready for this retake. They're going through their final motions, their final checks, and Story checks them out. That is a beautiful double kill that saves this round for sAw, and Story might even get this 3rd kill on the AWP retreating. Great work from Story to keep his team in that fight.
Now he's got the AWP as well. Salvages it off the body of 910. Convincing round from sAw. Marching in, dry contact entry.
The money is not incredible here for the Mongols.
No, especially because you just invested in that AWP.
They're going to go for the buy in this next round. They're going to get 2 M4s out of it, 2 MP9s and a 5.7 in the hands of Blitz. It's not a great buy for Mongols. Fast mid play. Materis, oh god, takes his own teammate down, but it's so clean from sAw other than that. Great work done in mid.
4 kills through smoke. Nice.
Feels like vertigo.
All right.
We talked about many times in this competition, Jason, how quickly these scorelines can start to just go the other way. You know, MR12, they just disappeared. The lead that you've got can be found very quickly.
Well, Techno is going to be found quickly by Roman. Coming in late, away from the bomb plant. It's just Senzu. In a position where he could get a little crazy, but he's got no kit. So save the M4. That'll be the only weapon that Mongols have in the next round, and we'll see if he can be the hero.
You need to be a superhero to win this next round, most likely. And in fact, ooh, he's under enough pressure that you maybe thought that that M4 wouldn't get into the next round. But he does keep it. He does drag it into this, but it is about to be 10-7. Here's that early fight. Get a replay of the crazy chaos here.
Look, because when you drop your gun in the middle of a battle, you deserve what you get.
You do. It's like, coward!
Exactly. There's no retreat. There's no surrender.
We're marshaled.
4 rounds back. Should be able to close that gap to 3, unless Senzu's got something special for us. He's in the right place.
He'd not need something super special here, Senzu. Senzu peering down that ramp. It's a good shot from Ujerks. Senzu with nothing, and they know they're likely to find... Oh, God, smoke blows open. Grenade lands on top. Aristase having some fun in and around these smokes at long, and Blitz just waiting around that corner. He's spotted by Roman and taken out 10-7. The scoreline doesn't look that ugly anymore.
Not anymore, but this is going to be a very telling round. There's not going to be an AWP on 9-10, but Mongols trying to slow down this sAw attack, not let them build momentum. It's been 3 rounds straight for sAw. And as we saw in the first half, when the Mongols built to this critical momentum of never being able to be stopped, sAw can do something similar. It'll be different style. It's not going to be that brute force into a bomb site. They'll be a little bit more tactical. But very deadly as well. Utility out in the early rounds. Deep Molotovs and smokes. Aristase is going to ignore all of it. Blinded right at the end. But thankfully, so is Blitz. And that is another one through smoke.
Oh, Roman to bring Techno down and out straight away. Mongols lose 2 players. sAw hitting another gear. And we know they're capable of this. We know they have mental strength in games. We've seen against G2. They come back into matches and series, and it's so hard to put them away. Mongols nipping at the heels, finally getting 1 kill, but it's not enough. Not enough at all. It's a safe call now for Blitz, and the Mongols have disappeared. Gap is now 2 rounds. The money is dwindling for the CT side.
It's got to be a splash of cold water for the Mongols, who were feeling so good going into the halftime break with the run that they were on. Now can't get anything going on this CT side. Even with the pistol round victory. It's going to be 10-8. Ujerks having another very good game. 16-14 for him.
We've become very used to seeing Ujerks getting up to those numbers. They're just moving so fast, it was hard for Mongols to keep track of them. Yeah, another round where Mongols don't have the weapons that they desire and require. So sAw about to head to 9. Unless they slip up big time. And it's a quick play for sAw. All the forces gathered at the A-bomb site. They're just going to charge through. Getting a good read on what Mongols likely don't have in their economy, and that's good weapons. The utility to slow them down, and they find an empty A site to put that bomb down in. Mongols held at the extremities.
Blitz might just want to back away with the M4. They're going to be buying in the next round no matter what, but there's no reason to risk it. There's no reason to lose it if you don't have to. So we'll see the 3 players back away from Donut. Or that M4 is going to go red room and start to look to cut off rotations and get some exit kills. Roman is aware of the possibility. Blitz now trapped, must fight to survive. He's got 9-10 giving him cover, but it doesn't matter. U-Jerks again with a double to close out the map, and sAw's within 1.
And Barry's on his feet as well. He's happy about this.
No longer stressed.
Yeah, definitely not stressed anymore. That leg is no longer shaking. This is a timeout for the Mongols called because they have lost control of this game. The gap is now 1. And sAw looks so incredibly warmed up on this T side.
It's not like they're rushing, but things have been fast-paced, and a lot of it is because they're getting 1 to 2 kills pretty early in these rounds.
True.
You know, they're finding kills. You know, the spam through the mid-smoke. Red room, Dulce got that one, picking off a player boosted up over towards the B bomb site. They're finding some early kills that give them the opportunity to speed up, and they've just been able to do it. Not that they're trying to; it's just there. Round 20. 1 round separates the 2 teams. Let's see if the timeout changes anything for Mongols.
It has to. Can't continue to be like this for their defense, otherwise it could be a swift uppercut to knock them down on their map pick. Meteorus looking to be a nuisance out middle. Pokes and prods away at that elbow. And sAw start to fixate upon this B setup. Techno in the cubby. His teammate sends her down. Techno must stand up in his stead. Second kill out of Techno. Starts to run out of ammo. And he does well to get 2, but it's not enough. They keep peeking. They keep giving them opportunities. Stories on 1 health after that. It is a little unfortunate for the Mongols not to get that kill. But the bomb will go down. And 9-10 and Mazinho are in middle.
You think sAw at halftime were just like, you know what, let's just do the same thing. Let's just do the same thing as them. We'll show them that we can give it back. We'll show them how hard it is.
Yeah, and I bet it feels good. I bet it feels good that it's working. Yeah, they're calling it. They can't go for this one. It's going to be a save for the Mongols. They're retreating. Falling back. Meteorus tries to catch them as they run. But that scoreline now reads 10-10. Game is all tied up again.
Not a single gun round yet won by Mongols in this second half.
Terrorists win.
Dulce is starting to heat up as well on this T side. 13 kills now for him.
Yeah, and the Mongols have used every one of their timeouts so far. And you think about how young these guys are, and they haven't been in many situations where they're going to progress to the biggest stage in Counter-Strike, right? And you're on your map pick, and you had a strong lead. And that's starting to, it has fallen away from you completely. You're now on the back foot.
Well, it's also the pressure of being this close is a whole different kind of pressure. So you want to talk about inexperience.
As much as sAw maybe haven't had the greatest titles or the greatest appearances in their careers, they've been going on for around 15 years. They've been to countless tournaments preparing for these moments. And 9-10 to grab a kill on U-Jerks. Mongols up a player, and 9-10 has plugged the gap on this A attack. Bomb is down. He sees it. He knows where his next victim is. And Utility forces sAw further and further back into A main. As soon as they concede the lead, they grab it right back.
This is an unlosable round.
You heard it here first. It's got the O'Toole seal of approval. And that is a shot and a half. Meteorus will fall 9-10 with a 4K round on that AWP. Now, money is not an issue. There's a lot of cash here for sAw. They can buy back. They can get everything they want. But that is the first gun round that Mongols have won.
Really good kill from Blitz. He's getting naded down to 18 HP. Finding that, but 9-10 manages this perfectly. Always dropping back to the next safest location to take your 1v1. Final timeout used by sAw. Last chance for Barry to have something to say. Comeback's been lovely from sAw, but it can still come to a crashing halt.
And in a way, that's even more heartbreaking. You've seen the top of the mountain, and you fell right down.
They've been pretty grouped up, I feel like. I mean, both teams, I thought sAw would play a little bit more tactical, moving around the map. Maybe they just don't feel like it's an easy thing to pull off against Mongols, but it's been very much like, hey, 4 players, trade your way into the A bomb site. Hey, 4 players, trade your way into the B bomb site.
It hasn't felt like there's been a whole lot of mid-rounds at all in the second half. It's
not a whole lot of mid-challenges. sAw's had a few rounds where they've gone out against lower buys and been able to mop things up, but most of this has been relegated to the extremities. Oh,
it's blasting Blitz again, and he had a smoke in his hand as he was challenging down elbow. That's a little awkward for Blitz.
I wonder if that smoke just was thrown a little bit late and he didn't realize it. Miscommunication, not communicated, but he turned that corner, it seems, expecting that choke point to be blocked off.
Yeah, he definitely did. That's a tough one for Mongols, who are now down a player. There's so much time left for sAw. Perhaps this is where they change the style up.
All initial contacts would be individual for Mongols. Technos and Jaguar with no assistance nearby. Senzu is back of cube at B, looking towards long and short. Mizzino's in donut. Solo until he decides to fall back at contact to join up with 910.
Roman, lucky that smoke didn't blow away too much. 910 unable to connect on U-Jerks in the donut.
Well, now they know where the AWP is at the very least.
There's the play from Techno, aggressive down into the B lane. There's the AWP and the bomb. Story goes for the fight and wins it. Now he's getting out of there. Now he's sprinting back through spawn. His teammates now pushing through into the A bomb site and Red Room. And that kill on A opens up so much space for Mutiras, who catches Senzu stepping, charging back into red. Mutiras wins that fight, and sAw will tie up the scoreline 11-11. This is the kind of fight we want when you're challenging for the Lanxess.
That's such a beautiful round from sAw as well. They get the opening kill, and they know in a 5-on-4 that Mongols is going to have to do something, and they're so patient the whole round. The play doesn't come out till like, what, the 40-second mark when Techno pushes out a Jaguar, and then you just see everyone from sAw in position. They trade that kill off. They know the defense is going to have to shift. Someone makes their move out A main, someone makes their move up middle, and everyone's constricting to punish the shifting defense.
Blitz having a look. Mutiras gets blinded, caught, finally. An opening kill for Mongols to work with as they challenge down to try and grab map point, but Blitz stays and fights Mizzino with him. Mongols still ahead, and it's chaos in the first few seconds of this round, but the bomb is still outside of B for sAw. And they're going to boost Story's AWP atop the boxes. Senzu jump spotted, just seen that. He won't re-peek into the sniper, instead repositions.
Oh, but it's got to make you a little bit nervous playing at this B bomb site when an AWP is potentially at B ramp. Makes it really hard to work up the confidence to jiggle. Everything's a little bit riskier, so Techno's going to get at the entrance of Cave. Similar setup to last round, Senzu over at long B. sAw is going to send all 3 players here.
Yeah, they know that's coming. Techno turns away from the flash. He gets back to it. It's awkward, and he nearly brings out his Dossé down. That would have been a double for Techno. But as it stands, sAw still in with a chance. As Dossé falls, and it puts it all on Story, and he begins to right it. It's a shot on Mizzino. Jumps into the site. No one up for the peak. He goes back into the cave. The timing eluding him, but he gets that shot on Senzu. And this Story could have a beautiful ending. 910, the AWPer in the cave. And Story takes a few steps back, waiting for this post-plant moment. 910, not comfortable, no kit on his back, switches out to the AK instead. Story knows where his next victim is, the shot misses, and now 910, that bomb is not planted comfortably whatsoever. Story can rot the clock, he can run this time down, and Story just plays with his prey as he runs around the corner. It is a beautiful ending to this round for Story. He pulls sAw out of the hole and gives them map points. This is so frustrating for 910, but absolutely beautiful for the side of sAw.
My man Story, what a performance, 1v3, and that's what I'm saying, it makes you so nervous taking some of those peaks. Mongols gets lured into each and every one of them despite mid control, despite a heavy defense put up in cave.
That is a sick clutch.
Nobody could find a clean fight on Story, and his teammates are loving it.
Oh, that is a nightmare round for Mongols to deal with, though. You had all the chances to take 12. They've got to feel like they should be on map point, but there's no time to think about it, no time to worry about it, because they don't have a timeout. They got to go into the fight again, and Blitz is down at the elbow. A start for sAw with an advantage to close out their opponent's map pick in a qualification game for the Lanxess Arena. 9-10, smoke is blown open at Donut, the long and labored spray eventually equals a kill.
They're coming around to A though. This is 3 players coming out, they're making footsteps. 9-10 knows, he's got to step up again. He doesn't have the ult this time.
Oh, he's blinded.
This is good utility for Mongols. They slow everything down, give themselves time to breathe.
Yeah, they stall out sAw, and there's still so much time left in this round. So much time to take a breather and reevaluate what other options are available on the table.
Yeah, but there's been so much chaos and there's been so much pressure from both teams. Look at the utility left with over a minute. Like there's a 1 flashbang on Techno. They've used everything to slow down that A hit. They were in a panic.
And that bomb starts to wrap its way back towards this B side of the map. And this is a good chance for the Mongols. They've got a double setup in Cave. Techno and Mazinho needing to combine together as sAw sending players towards the ramp. Senzu is about to peek mid. Story's at the bottom of the stairs.
Those footsteps,
the
though.
Sounds. He doesn't see Story. Story knows exactly where he is, though. And Techno, oh my god, falls down. Arisdose with a reaction flick. Now Senzu waiting for Story to come on into his trap. In through the red room. 25 seconds left. Mongols rotating over, fighting for overtime on their map pick. Or Udrix and Roman will close this one out. 9-10 with a shot right down that back line. And Udrix has a 1v2. 1v2 in 2 different angles. And the Portuguese man plants his feet. He goes into that fight. Now a 1v1. 9 health left. And he's so close. Senzu steps up and overtime secured. The Mongols not dead yet. And this goes to the bonus rounds.
Man, there's no way you win 2 1v3s back-to-back to win the map. That's crazy. Ujurk's so close. And if he had a little bit more health in that last fight, a little bit more HP to work with, he might have been able to do it. Mongols have to just be so relieved at the moment. In control of this map entirely at one point, ripped out of their hands, and they watch as that lead dwindled this entire half.
Not exactly the most hype reaction, but it is the Mongols. They are stoic in their nature.
I mean, it's good though, right? We talked about some of the inexperience and having to play in different situations and for a big stage, and yeah, no reason to get hyped up. You've just forced overtime. Game's not done. Job's not finished.
Oh, this shot lands on Story, but not enough to topple him off the top. Elsewhere, 9-10's op will connect with lethality. It's information of the whereabouts of 2 snipers, but it doesn't quite matter now for sAw because they're down to 2 players, and the Mongols with a clean CT round so far.
Yeah, very clean. Good little mid-round aggression, peeking up and clearing out B lane. sAw's on the back foot. Story's got 11 HP. Ain't no chance this time. Him and Muterus are going to combine at the bottom of B ramp. 50 seconds. You have all the money in the world, so saving doesn't really matter, but, you know, at some point, there's no reason in going for an unwinnable round. They're still going to give it a try, see if they can find a pick.
Senzu, straight through the chest. Now Story runs, but the fire will hold him back. Not getting too many angles that he's comfortable with, and Senzu will shut him out. So 13-12, Mongols back into the lead, and that round's really impressive. They keep 5 players up. Get a timeout again in overtime. Mongols not making use of theirs just yet. It's sAw that have called it first.
I wonder if Arisdose got kind of baited by the op call out from his team. The op shot at the B bomb site, the switch into the double op, and he tries to start making his plays. Like, okay, op's on the B bomb site. I can take a little bit more space and get prepared to challenge. And just gets wrecked. 13-12, 1 round lead. Timeout comes to a close.
They've gotten rid of that double op already. Even though they kept it. They're like, we don't want to play another round with a double op setup.
Well, it's just, okay, you've seen it. Now you can call against it, right? So switch out, different defense. One of those rifles can be a little bit more aggressive inside of a bomb site, more useful on retakes, obviously, more useful on being mobile around the map. So trying to change sAw's game plan based on what they're expecting. And it's a B rush.
It's quick up B. Roman, the spearhead of the attack, hasn't quite penetrated any of the defense yet, and he's blunted by 910. Blitz helping out. Meteor's going in for the fight. It's just chaos, but it's all Mongols. And ours Dosse stuck in cave. This would be one hell of a pullback if he's able to even get close to this.
Don't need to take any more fights in cave. No reason to challenge there whatsoever. He's got to come to the B bomb site. He's got to commit himself to pick up the bomb.
910 straight down that ramp. It's 14 rounds now for the Mongols. 2 away from victory on their map pick.
That's a sick shot from 910. That's deceptively a very difficult shot to land for an opper.
Through the boxes.
You're getting shot, and also your focus and your gaze is on the deep angle. And even though he's coming into your crosshair, for whatever reason, your brain doesn't always switch over to the close fight.
It's those young reactions from 910.
Back into a double op.
Meteorist through the fire. Heating up with a great opening, but it's traded 2 for 2. Tip for tap. Blitz burning. Blitz, get out of the fire. Oh my god. 3 health. He eventually gets away. This guy's the cerebral assassin.
It's crazy. I maybe never saw the Molotov going into Cubby, but he stood in it for quite some time.
He did. He really did.
I think it did like 50, 60 damage to him. Good transfer over from 910. Careful.
Dude, how sick has 910 been playing?
Yep.
He gets out of there again. Blitz on the other side with that AWP. Stays alive. And tells the tale to Roman. It is now 15 to 12.
CT sides have been the struggle for both of these teams throughout regulation, right? T sides have just been bodying them. So the fact that Mongols is about to throw 3 in a row up on the board might just be a death sentence. Think sAw stacks the B bomb site? First round CT overtime?
And then the Mongols are going to rush A.
Hold the phone a little bit. There is a pathway open here. Blitz with his low HP. There's a path open to the free plant at the B bomb site, overlooked by Mongols. They think the finishing move is towards A. Blitz has 3 health, and with 2 ops, this is manageable. And it's story. He's already won 1v3. And he's got the AWP for deep angles.
It's just the utility and how low he is really making this a difficult outcome. They're charging back in from red. He now gives away his position. Flash connects on him. He's stuck in the open. He's really close to that kill, but Blitz will break him.
Yeah, he needed that first shot.
Yeah, he did.
That was the right play. I liked the play. You have to get a little bit aggressive to thin things out before everyone arrives. Just missed the opportunity. 15 to 12, winning number is 16. Mongols just a single victory away, a single B hit away from a map win.
Definitely expecting a B hit here.
They've already ran it like 10 times on their T side.
Well, it doesn't look like it's just going to be the straight up direct B hit. They'll take their time. A barrage of utility softening up, in particular, Techno. Story's waiting for 910 to be boosted onto that box, and 910 gives away the opener.
That's the bomb. They're going to have to go back and recover it.
It's a bit of a spanner into the works here for Mongols.
I think that's Senzu just realizing it and jumping across the smoke.
A jump up from Senzu.
This is just going to finish at the B site, as we can tell, right? Like, they haven't moved anywhere across the map. Again, it's kind of what I outlined in regulation, was you start with all 5 people here. Even though you lose that first pick, you have no map control elsewhere.
Senzu straight through. It's a great lineup here for Ujerks. They will not end yet.
Yeah, Senzu's telling his boy, you stepped in front of me.
Yeah.
I had the shot.
calamity. A little goof and gaff as they try and get in.
They got 2 more chances. This is a virtue. This is the nice thing about winning 3 rounds in overtime in the first half.
Or you could just win this one, Jason.
Okay.
No. You know, could have been.
I appreciate that you called it, though.
Yeah.
I appreciate you called it ahead of time.
It could have been something special.
Timeout for MongolZ.
That's the opening.
I mean, look, again, another thing we touched on in the first half was if you're having difficulties handling, I mean, a B-rush is one thing, but even when MongolZ was just kind of slowly marching up as they did in this round and just kind of dry challenge you into the bomb site, bring your opper over. Get some assistance over there to let your op kind of alleviate some of that pressure. He gets 1 or 2 kills like that, they're going to start slowing down on how willing they are to just challenge up that B ramp.
Well, that's the MongolZ overtime timeout. Over and done with.
New jerseys for the MongolZ.
Yeah, still got that beautiful gold. But sporting the colors of Mongolia.
Yes, I did just notice that 28 rounds into the game.
And well done, Jason.
Thank you.
That's good. You're paying attention to the game, not the pictures, you know? Utilities being tossed out towards that A site. Donut smokes in, flashes into main, but there's no commitment into the site yet from MongolZ. Mutirus is isolated in Donut. This red fight about to go down, and once again, it's story opening up. Mezzinho dies in middle. MongolZ down a player. And is there any way they can get this back? Techno shows us exactly how.
Oh, Blitz is waiting for this donut push.
Timing. Look at that. Look at that timing.
Yeah, but look behind him. The position he was just watching. Oh, he has just somehow unknowingly dodged all elements of danger.
Dude, if he checks back mid, he's going to see 2 players in that position. But is he going to check back mid?
His eyes have got to be focused on red.
The bomb is going over towards A. The steps surely being heard now from Arisdose. Is there a reaction? They've killed Techno inside of Cave. They're searching Cave for another player, but they don't see anything towards B right now. Blitz cutting off the rotation by sitting in red so long. He'll smoke out that CT rotation point, and now he's looking at the ledge. He's seen Mutirus. He's trying to dance with death.
His attention is going to be occupied towards CT spawn to look for that push when the smoke fades. Meanwhile, all of sAw evacuated the area, heading towards Donut. One's going to come red room behind him. That's Mutirus. Big shoes for him to fill in an important job.
9-10 sits a Brokey, ever patient. His teammate Blitz in the temple. And they're praying that this round could take them one step closer to that cathedral. Good swing from 9-10. The mighty MongolZ break through with the first map victory. Ancient goes their way. The sAw side, they bring it back, they fight, but it's not enough to close it. One map up in the series, it's the MongolZ.
And here we go again. Nuke has begun. MongolZ starting on the CT side, sAw starting on the T side.
And they have fought so hard to get to this point. This is their best opportunity for both squads to get into the playoffs at Cologne. And we start with sAw on the T side of Nuke. Arisdose with the bomb on his back. And he'll play in towards the hut. Hujark's dropping down into main. It's a quick split into this A site from multiple different avenues. Senzu is hearing those steps and watching his teammates fall around him. He eventually will pick up 1 kill out of it, but Arisdose with all 5 kills in the most ridiculous fast fashion.
I didn't even notice he got all 5. Dang, well done, Arisdose, coming into map 2 hot. Getting his name on the scoreboard real early, clearing out hut in an extended battle as MongolZ is trying to hold on, but Arisdose does it all.
And that'll fire your squad up when you have someone getting an ace like that straight away. We've talked about Arisdose, we've said it many a time. If sAw are to be their best form, this is the guy that's usually with Hujark's up at the top, fragging out one of his rifle prowess moments. Hopefully it will come up later in the game too. That pistol with 5 in a row. Outside, occupied by multiple MongolZ now. Blitz looking to nip in behind them. That deagle now revealed. Story takes him out. It's not the start of the force buy they would have wanted. Saw have many players already down secret.
He's got a deagle tag though. Maybe that scout can clean things up. 2 players down here as well. Mazinho with 1. He was the star yesterday. Haven't had to talk about him too much yet today against sAw. Deagle's not landing until the very end. Finally, Mutirus is taken down, but that should be about it.
Techno with that 5-7, so close to taking Arisdose down, who is now 7 kills in 2 rounds, yet to die. Bomb plant now secured, Saw up 2-0 on the T side.
Bomb has been planted.
That's one hell of a start from Arisdose, isn't it? So would love a great start here.
It's a big risk for him to go back and actually fight in vents. There's only 2 players downstairs. If he had actually lost that fight, lost the bomb, and given over an AK-47, that could have got a little bit weird. But that's not what happened. So we're up 2-0. And Mongols will have to save in the next round. The scout will be the only tool they have to work with. Unless it is a T-spawn. There's already story here. Oh, he's going to grab this scout. 910's going to be so sad.
After all that, there's someone already waiting in your hiding spot.
That's a dick move.
Definitely is. So we're definitely better on the T side. We've seen a good T side over an Ancient, not so much on the CT side.
Might have just been a stylistic thing for the map.
Might have been.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see on this one how the CT sides actually roll and pan out. As I said, this is at both the teams' map pool. It's both of the teams' best maps, statistically speaking. And just recently, the Mongols took a pretty rough loss to Furia on this back at EWC, which knocked them out of the entire tournament. So I mean that's one of those demos you're going to go back and review in detail.
Yeah.
And they came into this event, they took down Eternal Fire on Nuke, 16-14, so I mean,
The Mongols were due a little revenge win from Furia, though, as they knocked them out of Itza and Cologne.
Yeah, they've inflicted more heartbreak than they've taken when it comes to Furia.
Oh, Furia will play Liquid later on in the bracket. Currently on core, we've got Astralis Na'Vi as well. That side of the bracket is crazy strong. Just like the Zeus. And the nice little kill on Arisdose. He'll nip away here, and Mongols...
Oh, he can recharge it.
Oh, he could go again. It's quite a long recharge, though. So, they're running at him. He is going to die. Mutirus gets rid of him. 910 is dead in that lower bomb site. Plant is coming in now. There's a lot of players down here for Mongols, and they've got pistols that can inflict some damage.
Yeah, I'm surprised they never opened that door during the entire plant process, but it was low percentage regardless. Mazinho and Senzu are going to go down last. So 3-0 for sAw, and then the rifles come out. I don't believe Techno's going to have an AWP in this next round. If he wants it, it would be glass cannon with no utility.
Well, 910.
Oh, he's had someone drop it over to him.
Yeah, has got the AWP thrown on over to him.
Dang, Senzu had money.
So we do get 910 on the AWP. We get him with Kevlar and utility. And everybody from Mongols has a rifle. sAw AK-47s to boot. What kind of call do they go with here in their opening gun round? Outside wall is erected. They are going for an upper hit straight into this A site. Techno blinded, still off the top of the rafters, getting a double kill out of it. And remember Senzu, he's playing in and around the vent. He's looking to be an absolute nuisance inside of these smokes, and he has gone around the whole way around. But Roma is now ready for this hot push, and he comes back into that headshot. Probably would have been better for Senzu to stick around at Squeaky instead of coming around the hut, because they were ready for a ramp player, a flank coming in from that side anyway.
I was just going to bring up the same point. That pathing is super weird, because that's exactly where they're going to look for a ramp flank, which is something completely predictable. If he stays inside that smoke and waits for it to fade, maybe he can catch someone off guard or come out of it on the footsteps. Either way, like, the play he made in that round to hide in the smoke is fine and it can be effective, but all of his teammates died in the meantime.
You have to come out from behind them. You have to be unpredictable if that is going to work out. And
his, yeah, it's just that, yeah, that's rough. I mean, you get the opening 2 kills on the defense, you completely decimate the entire hut portion of the split. And you still end up losing the round, coming through the smoke, not realizing there's a Molotov on the other end. And that was the one that really sealed it. 4-0 for sAw.
Rough start here for the Mongols, but they still buy. They still got everything they want. But sort of loving this start. If we need it, map 3 is Anubis. Ujark's diving down, Blitz is caught, great opening! Second nearly on top of the hut, sensU, oh he stepped up this time. He's with Techno this time. And it's a 2 versus 3 thanks to that kill from Materis. It's still doable for sAw.
Materis in a position to exploit outside. I don't know if he was spotted. Possibly. He obviously saw one up in heaven. Gonna hop up onto the barrels, climb up. Roman's gonna wait over in lobby. So Materis looking to crack this.
Oh, sensU comes around the back, but Materis turns just in time. sensU goes down.
Up the ladder we go. Should be predictable, so you have the hut push from Techno. Mazinho's got to be the one who's cautious about heaven.
A lot of time, sAw. But what are they able to do with it? Roman now coming into the hut. This fight is everything, and Techno collects the head of Roman. Mazinho has heaven on lock. And the Mongols do finally get a CT round. Better work from sensU this time.
They weren't able to recover the AWP though.
Good entry power from Ujark. Very unlucky not to get that second kill off the top hut.
It's that position up in rafters. That's been back-to-back rounds. It's given them a double K or 2 kill. Just a little giggle as the players settle into Nuke.
Oh, Mongols playing aggressive with these outside smokes and getting close to red. It's Blitz that is doing it, and he stopped Ujark from making the exact same move as he used prior, but there's no fallback plan for Blitz. He jumps into the open, and Story's op will snipe him.
Not a bad transition though from 910. A little bit risky, but now that he's got place in the back of Garage, he can cover Mini. So Secret is still open. That'll have to be communicated.
Here comes Roman. In front of that smoke, sensU wins the duel. Steady and ready. 910 all the way at the back of the garage, so it's a strong position for 910.
That's a last smoke that sAw has to put this round together, and you can freely rotate down to lower knowing Secret is open because you have that coverage from big garage towards Mini. This Mongols defense is lined up perfectly, and a nade coming in just lets sAw know they know it's coming.
sensU. Oh no. The foundations to the boost looked like it was going to cost them. It actually works out in the end with a nice shot from Story. Damage being done to the Opera though. And he's just throwing a heap of utility at Mazinho.
All right, who's covering Squeak? It's still 910. If they decide to shoot up the vents, he'll be ready.
And you can see them considering the vents, but I think they realize it's too risky. Mazinho takes a step forward, shot will miss, and he goes out for a re-peek, this time to his death. So Materis is left in a 1v3, and Mazinho now sees exactly where his next opponent is. With 14 seconds left, there was always 2 players charging towards him. It was unlikely Materis got out of that one alive, so second round for Mongols.
Mazinho takes a huge risk that round, though. That little walk out in secret stairs to check towards vent against the AWP, that is such a risky play in a situation where you just really don't need to even risk death whatsoever. Fortunate to get away with it here against Story. But I mean, you throw like Shiro, Monasi, Wonderful in there.
They're hitting that.
Yeah, they're hitting that, and that round's on. That turns into a 2v2 and starts getting uncomfortable. sAw's back to pistols.
And those are the kind of teams that they'll have to be thinking about once they get into the playoffs if they're able to win this. Well, some of them, because they're all on that kind of deathly side of the bracket. A few of those names will be dropping out.
Yeah, we're going to thin the herd over these next few days.
Ujark to land on top of main. That grenade proves lethal.
Nice throw.
That was a great throw from Blitz.
Well done, Blitz. Adds another tally onto it.
He can enter the shot put event. Under a minute left. You're not really expecting sAw to do much with this, so it's going to be 4-3. And the Mongols have done a very good job at stabilizing the early portion of this half.
Mongols barely used utility in this round as well, so just minimizing the amount of cash they have to spend. It's a little bit rough on a couple players. That death is one you don't like to take. Roman will go down eventually. So the lead is cut to 3. It's dwindled. This time it's Mongols clawing themselves back into a map, within 1 of tying things up on the CT side.
They don't have enough to get the AWP out here. 4 stories, so everybody has to play on an AK-47 instead. I think they'll be comfortable with that.
That's how I like my T-side nuke. All AKs.
All AKs, no AWP. Why is that, Jason? Because all your teammates suck with the AWP, probably.
Yeah, usually. I'm playing with you guys.
Yep, it's true. Usually Blood.
Poor Blood. He's already tied up in knots watching this game. Give him a break.
He might get a celebration later.
He might get a celebration later. All right, Grand Prix. All right, Mazzino. You were the king yesterday. Show us what you got.
Takes a jump off.
All right.
That was not much, but he stays alive. His teammate 910 goes into the fires and the flames and dies at the hand of Story.
That's either a mistake out of 910 or a failure of communication from Mazzino letting know he's dropping. The only reason the AWP ever comes to peak there is when he's got a teammate in ramp room ready to fight and support.
So if it is a lack of communication, Mazzino has a chance to step up and make up for his prior issues. Senzu takes the distraction away. Mazzino now strikes out. It's only 1 kill, and that is not going to be enough to keep the Mongols in a position of power. The bomb is going to go down, and the Mongols consider whether or not it's even worth going for this. They get this first kill on ramp cleanly.
They have time to come clear this and see if they can win this fight.
Yeah, but it comes down to this.
They have kits. They do have a smoke as well.
Didn't see the second player, so he only knows that Techno's coming down there.
That's clean. It's on. Retake is on for sure.
They got a smoke, they've got kits, and 1 HE grenade alongside a flash. So they move into the bomb site. Smoke can be deployed by Blitz. Decon closed, double doors open. Kill from Mudrix locked in on Techno. Smoke is out towards that Decon door, and Blitz, while time is running a little too thin for the in-game leader. He's gonna get to it, he's gonna stick it, but even if he had enough time, it was so close. And Story will slash him up with that knife on his run out the door.
Yeah, nicely done popping that door open as they're transitioning into the bomb site. You can track the audio cues, and sAw's putting together a very nice T-side at the moment. Up 5-3 and showing no signs of slowing down. This series is for the playoffs, and they want to fight for it on map 3. That would be Anubis if we can get there. The Mongols' first time out comes to a close. They've got an AWP in 910's hands. We'll see what they can do to slow this hit down. Haven't really been able to dominate outside very much from the CT side. They've been aggressive a couple of times. They've found a couple kills here and there, but they've never really been able to slow down what sAw want to do.
It's not pretty for sAw, is it? Gleals on 3 players, a MAC-10 for Roman, and an AK-47 in the hands of Story. Meteoros takes a lot of damage on board with that initial utility, and here's some of that outside pressure. Blitz swinging. It certainly will dominate Muterus in that fight. Now the ramp play. Mazzino, a little bit of a calamity in the last round. Perhaps a collapse in communication. But he holds them at bay for now, and no peek is coming from 910.
Yeah, they forced the rotation down to the lower bomb site yet again. They want to wrap towards heaven, though, it looks like. At least Udrix wants to challenge for it, and that's going to be a rough corner to turn if you do it.
Yeah, but he does it with ease. Sees that second player down. 910's AWP is out of there. Techno dies at the back of the bomb site. Story just runs right through him, and sAw have A. It's a rough round here for the Mongols, because you get that opener outside, and you still just lose all the important frags. Blitz blinded as he climbs up the ladder. is going to be another retake attempt for the Mongols.
They're going to test. They do have a Molotov. Blitz is going to deploy that just now. Flashbang comes in from Mini. There goes Ares Dulce.
Oh, he's blinded by it, but the rest of his teammates stepping up. It's just Mazinho. You called him the king. Well, there's the young prince as he gets towards the site, taps that defuse, doesn't stick it, does not pull it through, and now he gets back to it. Is there enough time for Mazinho with that kit? He's got plenty, and Mazinho's able to pull it off. Great work done from Mazinho coming in from heaven, and the decision not to stick it works out in the end.
Had a little more time than I expected, but still, you have that kid inside the bomb site planted safe. You know he's not going to be in heaven. I thought for sure that would be a stick. I love that play from Story. So much chaos, so much information around the map. They've been able to gain so much map control. He just waltzes out Hut. That clutch is actually massive for Mazinho. That keeps Mongols in the fight. Losing that, you're out of money. Then all of a sudden, sAw can extend this lead into something that you can't recover from. Big time clutch.
Yeah, great work. It requires a massive performance from Mazinho to be the most impressive 17-year-old on the server when Donk's in there, and that's exactly what he did yesterday. Another good day at the office for Mazinho. That's not how his career started. It was rough at times. Blitz defending secret, they're walking towards him. Second player gets cleared out. You thought the second player might be an element of surprise that sAw wouldn't be ready for. But they get through it. Senzu defends from vent.
Oh, another Hut lurk. This can be impactful. Ooh, the MAC-10 though at that range, not pretty. Senzu still alive in vents, and sAw no longer have their escape route, their fallback plan.
They get caught from heaven. Good peek from 910. Actually, it was from the lockers window that he peeked out there. So he got that kill locked in. Story able to trade it. But a lot to do here for Story. Plenty of time, though. That's the thing on his side at the moment. 2 flashes. And the bomb on his back. Can Story piece this one together?
Techno's over in ramp and Senzu is downstairs, so an upper plant will have some time to it for Story to relocate and reposition. He had a huge 1v3 back on Ancients. He's got a chance for a 1v2 here.
The utility is in the hands of Techno. He's got a flash and a molly to make this uncomfortable for Story. Senzu making no secret about his position as he makes a lot of noise, entering the vent, coming closer to Story, checks him out. Story has to turn back. Techno from that MP9 in heaven, able to close out the 1 versus 1. Scoreline's tied up, and it's Techno to do it.
Yeah, but none of this is easy. Back-to-back 1v1s won by the Mongols. But their money is just... They can't actually get any safety. They can't actually have enough cash to propel themselves forward. Everything is like right on the edge. It's still going to be a little bit weaker in some cases. I imagine we see a force-up out of sAw as well here. Yeah,
fortunately for the Mongols, sAw don't have money either, right? So they've got around 3k average at the moment.
This is where it gets like a tough decision. Do you force up here knowing that a win will give you a final round against like pistols and armor, or do you just kind of half buy here and then get a full buy in the last round? We'll see what sAw choose to do. You can see the Galil's already being picked up now, so they're going to fight, they're going to challenge. They know the money's low.
Those pages have seen better days. No one's able. They've been in the back pocket of Barry.
Spinning his hands, just crimpling him up as he goes.
Stress.
Overtime.
Oh yeah. They'll be shreds by the end of this. 2 rounds left in half number 1 here on Nuke. Tough to call who is going to edge this out, but you would say it will be decided by this round.
Door blown open. Looks like a fast pace towards the upper bomb site. Not a complete rush, but they're hitting the timing.
As Dulce charging in, gets caught by Blitz out from main. Techno, he's searching rapidly for the second target, but they've actually went down the vent. They've decided to descend into B. That door open at Decon.
And Mazinho didn't rotate down. He's still over in ramp room, so they're going to get a free plant out of this, and now they can take space towards ramp room. Retake is going to be tough.
Oh, Mazinho.
Oh, careful. He spotted it.
Yeah, you definitely seen how far up Udrix was, so that element of surprise is no longer with sAw. But it's still so tough to deal with Udrix in the darkness. Mazinho takes a dink on board. There's fights going on the upper bomb site, but that time is ticking on lower. Materis is still in ramp. They're fumbling through weapons, and all that distraction is perfectly allowed Materis to come in and clean up the other two. It's a 2v2 now established, but time is the problem. No kit on their backs, blitz to the kills, but it's seconds that he does not have. It is 6 rounds for sAw. They take a small lead. And the money is broken for the Mongols. They will throw everything they've got into this last round of the half, but it's very likely that the Portuguese now storm to a 7-5 lead.
Mongols spent so much time kind of organizing that retake. Not only organizing the retake, but organizing taking out the lurkers over in lobby, right? They didn't actually have any pressure on the lower bomb site until the retake began. Everything else was just precious seconds being wasted trying to jockey in towards lobby, find that kill. And they only got one of the two. So yeah, busted by. sAw looking to take a 2-round lead into the second half. On the T side of Nuke, that would be a beautiful thing for a team trying to take this to a third map.
Oh, Senzu.
Man.
You gotta get more of that if Mongols are gonna pull this round off to tie up the scoreline. But it's a good start. And sAw take a breather after that. They take a real pause. They're not using their utility yet. They're hanging on to those final pieces. And no one from Mongols is pushing the issue. They've got the player advantage in this situation. Mazinho cleared away, forced down the ramp. 45 seconds remaining in this round as sAw begin to take their steps forward into the upper bomb site. Sensor's looking the wrong way, and because it's silent, it's effective. And now it's Techno on top hut, unable to clear away Materis.
Oh, that dink came on the last bullet before he went down.
Yeah.
He would have loved that a little bit earlier.
Blitz through that smoke, Roman's down. And the Mongols must go for this. They've got a kit this time around. They've got a kit for the retake, but Mazinho's dead, and it's just Blitz left. 1 versus 2. Materis so low from his earlier engagements, but I think Blitz is starting to realize just how difficult this clutch is going to be. The sAw side sit in the sight, and they will close out this half with a 7-5 lead on the T side. They desire a third. They want to bring this battle to 3. We'll see if they can do it in the second half.
Anybody else but you. 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 I need anybody else but you. Anybody else but you. But you. I don't want anybody else but you. I need anybody else but you. Anybody else.
Well, Mutiris and Roman are thinking, we just made our first major earlier this year in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Why not add a Cologne on top of it? Why not make it a little bit better? They got their team up 7-5 by 2 rounds over the Mongols with a fantastic offense. Now they've got to switch over. You mentioned this coming into the map, Dinko. Both CT sides were a mess on Ancient. Both teams struggled with the CT side. Still kind of struggling with it today, or on Nuke, Mongols.
Yeah, so let's see if sAw are better here on the CT side of Nuke. You'd like to hope so. It is their map pick. Mongols T-side pistol begins with everybody with Kevlar. No one buying any utility. None of that. It's a waste of money. Just go for headshots.
There's the jump. Mongols speeding up. Oh, sit down.
That's lovely.
Had a chance for another one. Senzu's lucky to be alive, down to 50 HP.
And they're just going to charge back into this upper bomb site. They want to get a bit of taste of Arrows Dosse because it's quite sweet rice. And now while they're into the site, a couple of shots coming back for Story. But Mazinho, he's having one hell of a pistol run here, but he would need everybody. And that is not going to happen for him. sAw stands strong, and now it's 8-5.
That's both pistols now for sAw and Nuke, and that should be that's a pretty big advantage when you want to take this map and bring it to one more.
Yeah,
Good shot from you jerks.
It is starting to sort of set those early signs up for Anubis, isn't it?
Yeah, because you get like a really nice start on both halves of Nuke. Now the one X factor is Mongols buying up into this round. At least, not buying up into it, but Blitz has a hero AK. Actually, no, they are.
They're buying, Jason.
They've come in late. I've changed my mind 6 times, so have they. AK-47 on Blitz, pistol and armor around it. So looking for Blitz to be a hero. Blitz was a great video game, by the way.
Was it one of the first video games ever made, Jason?
Not one of the first.
Oh, like one of the first 10. Something like that. Let's see if Blitz can create something out of this. Smokes deployed. He'll get behind that wall as he gets ever closer to that MP9. Roman takes a few steps back. Oh, Blitz, has he just been spotted? Oh, yes, he has. And now he's just screwed.
Talk about working yourself between a rock and a hard place. Just caught out at the worst time.
Getting smashed by both at the same time.
Oh.
Oh, the hero AK didn't do much.
Stories moved himself into the lower bomb site. He only has a USP, saving all his money in this round, wants the op as soon as possible. So he can be overrun with ease. That's not a great weapon at the moment against the armor to multi-kill.
Well then, what a shot from Senzu.
And he wishes he had an MP9.
Okay. This is sAw falling apart. Deagle shots ringing out. 9-10 with a second for the Mongols. Roman gets down the vent. It's a risky maneuver, but somehow Senzu doesn't get that kill. Roman stays alive on low HP. Mutiris clears out 9-10, and suddenly Mongols are in a position of weakness again. Mazinho falls to Mutiris' FAMAS, and it's all cleaned up for sAw. That comes off the back of Roman just making a wild drop down the vent. A Mongolian hearts break all around the world for that one.
They had a ton of advantages in that round. A nice 4-on-3, a post-plant situation. You could have played in multiple different spots. I'm watching Bled do a little de-stress walk around the studio. He's feeling excited about how that round started and not how it finished.
Yeah, they're going to finally make this guy look old. I can't believe Roman gets away with that. I cannot believe he gets away with that in the event.
Yeah, I mean, it's just by virtue of the Deagle, right? If that's a P250 or a
if it's the old Deagle.
Yeah.
With the body shot spam.
Sure. Timeout used by the Mongols.
Yeah, Mazinho's got his bubblegum back out.
Plant in a little bit of economic damage, and they feel confident buying up into this. Not a whole lot of utility, so I don't think you can do a slow map control-y round. And with this light of utility, it makes Story's op all that more dangerous. But Mongols need to get started right now. This is the route they've decided to take in this second half, is engage in this kind of economic warfare, this force buy constantly at the start to eventually batter down the money of your opponents. And if you go down that path, you've got to stick to it to its bitter end.
Oh, Story outside. You don't get much easier than that. 9-10 falls. Story repositions. Senzu rips him off the top of the fence. Now Mutiris is in behind Unbreakable, and the bullets are peppering towards him. It sounds a lot more violent than it ends up being because he's got most of his health still left, and that FAMAS does far too much. Mazinho swings into him, finally taken out, and it's a 2 versus 2.
2v2. Blitz is down at the lower bomb site. He has the bomb as well, going to plant behind Silo. Both sAw players upstairs and out of position. Dulce, however, is wise to this lurk from Techno, and he might have a free kill. Oh, the timing that he just switches away from.
Oh, as Dulce takes Techno down, now it's just Blitz. 1v2 for Blitz inside of his lower sight. And he hears those steps coming towards him. He tries to separate the fights, but he just goes into that first peak. And as soon as he does, Udrex clears him up. It will be a 10th round. It will be double figures here for the side of sAw.
I don't think he never saw, never had information on that second player. He's listening to those footsteps. I think he's trying to win by movement and just kind of wrap around that hall. Unfortunately, that second player he never saw was there waiting.
See what he did there.
A win for sAw, but they don't get to recover the AWP. They have to rebuy it. Which is fine, because they got money. And again, Mongols just committed to this path.
And they're starting to run out of chances.
Yeah, I mean they're doing a good job. They're losing in the late round scenario. They're not doing bad in the early rounds and the mid rounds. It's these late rounds, these after plants, these bomb site takes, bomb site, you know, holding the bomb site after the fact. That's what they're losing on. Good opening from Techno.
As you were saying, early rounds, it's going well for Mongols. They've got to pick this one up now, though. The outside smokes are deployed. About to be broken open by Meteorus. It's been quite a threat for the Mongols over the last few rounds here. As Dulce moving his way into the lobby. And Techno is about to peek in towards him. As Dulce, oh my god, he got away with it. How does he get away with that? He jumps up, and Udrex taking one more for the defense, and now Senzu sprinting in behind. Mazzino combines for that heaven headshot. And well, they don't have money anymore, so a safe call absolutely here for Story. Will he be allowed to take it into the next missed shot, and he's dropped by 9-10. 6 rounds for the Mongols.
Okay, that's what they needed. They finally broke through. All this pressure, they've come out in a decent place. Round win, they get rifles, they get better buys than they've ever had in this half so far. They've got sAw at a breaking point, even taking that op away at the end. I think it would be a massive mistake here for sAw to force buy. I hope they just descend to some pistols, a low buy. Don't shatter your economy with only a 4-round lead, and they'll stay strong. Only one deagle.
I mean, we've seen sAw over on Ancient. The scoreline looks so much in favor of the Mongols, and sAw were able to pull that back into a competitive game that went into OT. So it's another scenario here, perhaps, that Mongols will have to come from behind.
Let's see if they can do it. Let's see if they have that same kind of tenacity. Playing very cautious at the moment. I don't think they fully know what kind of a buy they're going to be up against, so they just want to take it. So they hear the deagle, obviously, but you don't know if it's 5 deagles.
Yeah.
You don't know if it's a deagle and 2 M4s out there somewhere, baiting you into a peak. There's a gap in this.
There's a massive gap in that. It's the Grand Canyon. And you use another smoke. They're going to try and cross with it. Not clean for the Mongols, but at least it happens in a round like this.
They have no more smokes, and this is telegraphed. They're clearing out lobby. There is a lurker here, Techno. But there's going to be a lot of sAw players at the point of attack. And yeah, they only have USPs and 1 deagle. It's still not something you want to walk into.
Yeah, sometimes the many are mighty.
So it becomes a fake.
Yeah, Molly goes down, 35 seconds.
They seem so convinced. I wonder what the information was that sold them this idea, because they're dead right.
Full charging.
Yeah, they have it accurate. They have it read.
That's the bomb going down. And the Mongols go 7 rounds on the board. So now the gap is just 3. sAw will get their buy in the next round here. Some damage would go a long way. If you can take some of these weapons away from the Mongols on exits. I'm starting to believe in that Mongols comeback potential.
I'll give it 1 gun round, Dinko.
Nah.
Before you buy in.
Then it's not as impressive, is it? You know, you got to buy in early. Otherwise, you don't make the big profit.
Sure. This is the Anders school of predictions that you're on right now. It's a dangerous place to be.
His is just wild speculation.
It's a really dangerous place to be.
But he did get the Australis winning the major call right all those years ago.
Yeah, like the 3rd time he did it.
Yeah, but no one remembered the other times.
I do.
Yeah, well.
I remember them all. 3-round lead. Good job for Mongols calling themselves out of running right into a stack.
All right, here is that first gun round. That's a weird foot angle there on the curb. Hope their ankle's okay. See what the Mongols are capable of with 5 rifles. And the AWP back for Story on the other side of things. Sends it to climb up on the silo. And the ult for Story plays inside of Garage. The cross towards red is being committed to for Mongols. They're sending multiple forces this way again.
Is there enough of a stall to make them not cross on this wall? There's the smoke break, nothing seen, a little bit of spam damage on a Bliss. He steps in front of the smoke to be able to challenge and exposes himself to Story. Baited out, thought that was the defender. A little bit of extra damage on 9-10, and this is not looking good.
Yeah, this is not a pretty start for the Mongols in this round whatsoever.
But again, it's all 4 players here. Oh, they're just picking up the pace. They say screw it. Like, we don't want to give them time to rotate.
Let's just charge. Hopefully we catch them in a poor timing. Mutiras up on the rafters. Rotation down from Mudrix doesn't go his way. Mutiras off the rafters, only manages 1. And the decision to speed things up looks to have paid off for the Mongols, at least for now. But those 3 remaining players are so incredibly low.
This is the round-winning play. There's no way they expect this. They've got no eyes on it. There's one on the AWP, and Roman, oh, beautiful. 9-10 was deeper in secret, never saw the transition from vents. They didn't keep control of it.
You can see him frustrated as he realizes that play has lost in the round. Took a little side and eye roll backwards. It's now 11-7 for the sAw side. It's a tough one there. Just the opening for Mongols sucked.
What's crazy about that from Roman, he was the one who dropped in vents against the Deagle as well to win out on the retake earlier in this half, but also that's the second time we've seen him drop vents when Mongols has control of secret, which is generally a textbook no-no. He's gotten away with it twice now in this map. And a final timeout used by the Mongols.
Sometimes when you get in early, Jason, doesn't work out.
Yeah? Go on.
I'm just saying is like believing in this comeback.
Okay.
That first gun round didn't go so well. Maybe should have waited, taking your advice.
And let that be a lesson for all you kids at home.
Listen to Jason.
Well, thankfully for the Mongols, they've got plenty of money for a very strong buy. 5 AKs, everyone's got nades. Last chance to fight for regulation. sAw win this, and overtime's the only eventuality possible for the Mongols. They've been playing on the back foot this whole map, it feels.
Mutiras hears those steps, but he realizes there's one right beside him and they have no clue. They're not clearing him. Mutiras could have the perfect position to kick this round off. As they all walk in front of him, he gets back with a dink. Could have got a multi-kill out of that if he had committed to the right side, it looked like, but at least Mongols get the 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, but this is, I mean, their T side has been one-dimensional. We've seen them kind of walk all 5 players towards secret multiple rounds, and sAw has that understanding as well, as you can see, because of that outside presence and trade and the number of bodies and comms that Mutiras gave. Roman slipped in towards Squeak Door. They've taken over lobby. They need to clear this. They won't. First is there. Roman's got a battle on his hands. He's run out of ammunition. They need this trade, but it's a ton of damage. Senzu and Mazino have no HP for this clutch.
Similar to the last round where they're damaged goods, and now Udrix, this is the freest kill he'll have. Senzu just running right into him. Mazino now thrust into a 1 versus 2. Bomb will go down in the site. At least that's secure, but anything else would be an absolute miracle. And Mazino unable to make it happen. So, map point for the side of sAw. This series, this duel to get into the Lanxess is going to come down to a map 3 decider. It'll be Anubis between sAw and the Mongols.
Thought Mutiras was going to have at least 2 and be on for a 3rd in that play.
Yeah, definitely could have been. We got to see Anubis in that opening. It was an overtime game between the Mongols and sAw to kick off their Cologne campaign in stage 1. It was a sAw victory, 16-13 in OT. So we're in for a treat if it gets that close again.
Utility fast towards the upper bomb site. Trying to give a new look. There's that outside wall they've used time and time again to cross the secret. No one's going to be behind it this time. No smokes remaining for the Mongols. And no one from sAw is even respecting the Spirit Cross. Nobody's dropped down. Nobody's considered it as a potential danger point. They're just like, nobody's crossed. We're fine. Everyone stand pat. Which means Story with his AWP will be here in ramp room in this attack.
Jerks, right through the smoke. It's 2. And it's a 3rd for Jerks as he looks to drag his squad through to map 3. He's already decimated the attack of the Mongols. And suddenly 2 left for this T side. Techno, the kiss of death to Arisdose from behind. It's 1 extra back, and Mongols, once more, seems like they're in this fight. Despite the laceration from the start of the round, Mongols still have a foothold in this.
Yeah, they really do. 910 drops that bomb, takes control of the double doors in the window. If he peeks this left, he's in trouble. But just covering his teammate. Mutira's going to clear the angle, nails it. There goes the planter as well. That's it.
That's it. sAw tie things up. They equalize this series, and we must wait to see who it is going to be entering the Lanxess arena. This series tied up. Anubis will decide it. The doors of the Lanxess lie in wait for the team that is going to walk through them. It's sAw or it's Mongols. We're no closer to finding out.
On CG side, I said, yeah. He goes, they're going to win. So here we go. Let's find out who's making it into the Lanxess. Who's our first playoff team here at IEM Cologne. sAw starting on the T side, attacking into the Mongols defense. You've got Senzu over in dark. Techno's going to be close by at the pillar. And Story already challenging with the P250. sAw look like they want to head towards the A bomb site. And this game might just get weird because they played this map earlier.
They did. Overtime victory for sAw in the opening game of stage 1. Senzu, first kill will go his way. Mongols have the player up. They're starting to encroach in this A bomb site. Waiting for them is Mizinho, and he's got his feet wet in the fountain.
910's got a flash, but they're not giving any indication it's coming.
910. Whoa, he's going to find out the hard way, and the Jewel Barrette is unleashed. They unravel just 1. And this pistol's back on. Roman's waiting for that rotation. It isn't the cleanest shots, but it certainly will be effective in the end. Blitz at heaven, 15 HP, and Techno, he knows Roman's in mid. He's got to deal with this threat. In the meantime, his teammate is fighting out heaven, and it hasn't gone well for the Mongols. It hasn't gone well for them at all. sAw fight back after losing the first player in this pistol round. Roman comes in through middle and secures a 3K, and the majority of the kills picked up by him.
Such a masterclass of handling the lurk. He gets a little bit of an easy job of it to start. Player running in canals is the easiest one for him to find, but an extended duel Techno in mid, spam through the smoke. He just does a lovely, lovely piece of work. A good pistol round. And Mongols had the right setup, but sAw make a perfect call to just go quiet, to go contact into A main on the pistol. No ability for the flashbang to be deployed.
Silent but deadly. And the force back for the Mongols. Senzu's got himself on the scout, everybody else on upgraded pistols. There's even 4 helmets out. Won't matter against those AKs, but it's the Khalils and MAC-10s where it can make a difference. Well, it's the AK that opens up the first affair. One of those helmets cracked open. It's Blitz that is down. Senzu trying to hold on to camera with his scout. He's had a couple of opportunities, unable to connect on the 3rd time of asking no. He finally gets one onto Story. And so have to bail out of there. They don't want to go into that.
No, they might have wanted to if that was a little bit more clean. If that kill came out a little bit faster. Now they've made plenty of noise, but there's nothing Techno can do to slow down all 3 of them. And the B bomb site is compromised, taken over. And this will be a second round for sAw. 910 flirting with the idea, but once he's spotted, he realizes that's way too much ground to cover against an AK. And that should be all of the excitement for round number 2.
Galil stolen away by Mazinho. He's going to bring that into the next. For sAw, a 2-0 start on the T side is exactly what they want here. Mongols looked disjointed. They looked a little discombobulated at times on the CT side, both on Ancient and Nuke. They have moments that just left you scratching their head.
Yeah, I was talking with Blay about it between the maps. It feels like one area in which Mongols like can show some massive improvement in my mind is watching, you know, the protocols they have in place for different situations. It feels like there's too long of a time of when like sAw does something on a map and then they come up with a solution or a response to it. Those protocols aren't set in place, so you end up seeing them kind of run around like headless chickens for a little bit before they, you know, sometimes snap into a play and sometimes just continue being headless chicken.
Yeah, sometimes just the headless chicken just keeps on running, and so hopefully we see lots of that coming into the final map here. First time in Cologne for sAw at all. It'd be impressive to see them go all the way to the playoffs in their first chance. Just think how many times this group of players have tried to qualify for events of this caliber and struggled. And they've lost a player here. It's the beginning of the struggle against some pistols. Udrux maybe, you know, making it look easy to trade that kill out on Mazinho.
This is pretty good damage done by Mongols, though, to start this. And 3 players are here. They don't have a whole lot of control. Aris Dulce isn't really peeking into anything. He's just looking for pushes, and now the scout has rung out. Story's low. sAw's in danger of dropping this one.
Yeah, there's 3 players waiting around that corner. And this is tough. Because 910 sees the shadow, he double scopes up, he lands that shot on Mutiris. Now things are getting rough. 910 gets another kill before he is decapitated by Story. 5-7, close quarters, Techno ready for that peek on out, but unable to sink the kill. And Aris Dulce gets a double out of it. The Mongols were so close to an upset victory in this round, but a 1v2 now for Blitz. And he's got that long run still ahead of him. Even if he gets these kills, it's the time.
And he's got a deagle. He's got to be super accurate. Story's not
both
really,
so low.
They're not considering this. Just now he turns. Blitz has the first.
That's one.
Surely.
He's got it. He's got to get closer. They turn now. That's an AK-47. And he's got smoke now. This gets uncomfortable for the remaining player of sAw in the form of Aris Dulce. But he uses the smoke for the darkness. He knows where his next opponent is. And Aris Dulce runs around that obelisk. And there's no time to waste here for Blitz. He's got to get back to it, but he's got no time. Once again, Blitz runs out of seconds. And sAw head up to 3.
It's kind of painful because that was a very winnable situation for the Mongols. They let Aris Dulce just double him up on the entry when everyone else is low. But I think you're still going to be happy with the outcome overall if you're Mongols. 5 kills, you take all the guns away, force those rebuys, you get a free AK-47 yourself, and you set yourself up nicely going into these next gun rounds. Look how much money sAw has left in the bank after that round. They've got nothing.
So a chance to break him for the Mongols. They may have come close to victory in the last round, but you'll still feel the effects of how close it got if they're able to win this. Look back on that opening game of Anubis, and it was Story that topped the charts. He had 24 kills, 18 deaths, a 1.1441 rating.
Again, these silent walks, these looks for contact from sAw. Very effective on Mazinho here, obviously effective in the pistol round as well.
And his Story.
Mongols is going to have that in the back of their minds and be very careful about how they hold angles.
Just having a look over the top of the smoke, not seeing anybody into the fountain. And it makes you a little nervous when that's happening. Get you on the edge of your seat. And Udrux is starting to make his way through mid, spots out the temple extension. That's 910 to bring Udrux down. Roman was caught by Blitz. Aris Dulce making that leap of faith through the smoke into the A-bomb site. Stopped by Blitz and held by the Mongols.
This will be a save now between these two. Story and Mutiris just saying there's no way we're going to get back in. We didn't cause any damage. We didn't find any kills. We didn't open up any gaps. Let's just bail out quickly so we can find some safety over in Rugs. 3-1. Good job from Mongols. And you have to imagine in this kind of a scenario, sAw's going to force buy around these 2 saved weapons. There's no reason for Mongols to hunt. They don't have the money to sustain losses. So we head into round 5.
Counter-terrorists win.
Timeout taken. Here from sAw, their first used. Not comfortable about how this round is looking, so they want to make sure they get a few extra seconds to talk about it.
Well, they want a game plan, right? You don't want to like spend the whole round sitting behind smokes, waiting for your op to get a chance to peek in. You want to find ways to activate the weapons you have. Activate this AWP with a boost, with a flash, somewhere he can find a pick. Activate this AK-47, some utility to get him into a good position. We'll see what Mutiris and Story can provide with the only weapons brought over into this round. 2 Tech 9s and a Deagle to supplement them with utility. And for Mongols, this is a great opportunity. You just had a round, all 5 players survived. You built up money behind this. You have another buy regardless of what happens here. But if you can have another clean round of 4 or 5 players surviving, and then you go into a full-blown eco against sAw, like that's perfect for Mongols. They have a chance to set themselves up nicely for this half.
Good flash. Forces Story away, but he sends the rest of his attack forward. That grenade will slow down the momentum that sAw had. 910 drifting over. His AWP coming out of the temple. Blitz, he's not alone inside a camera. They've got 2 in here. It's Mizinho and Blitz. Smoke flash goes too deep, but it's still effective. Story comes in. He's got 2 in the AWP, and now they know exactly where 910 is. And dealing with that threat, well, it's going to prove a little more difficult. 910 still stands on his feet, but that smoke comes up, and that A-bomb site is open. They're charging in together. Senzu trying to get out of the smoke, trying to get out of this awkward scenario, but it won't happen. It's sAw that somehow figure out how to get through that mid setup, break both of those camera players apart, and they're straight into the A-bomb site.
Yo, it's a beautiful pre-fire peek from Story for the first kill, but that second kill is so quick. That M4 starts shooting, takes down his teammate. Perfect bait by the sAw crew to set up the AWP. And man, that's both A defenders lured towards middle. They had a 3-man setup there and couldn't stop it. 3-for-1 trade. And sAw once again putting together a strong T-side. 4-1.
A round really can't be allowed to happen for the Mongols in that fashion, but you can't stop Story when he decides to pop off. He was the bane of their existence on Anubis.
Look at this one.
To it earlier, but yeah, this second shot so quick on the reaction. You see why Senzu wants to get out of this awkward scenario, but not finding impact.
Made to blow up in that smoke as well, went very shallow, so
Yeah.
like, that was when you really are just kind of like, oh, my only option now is to come through the smoke if I want to fight for things. Timeout used by Mongols. They had an extra buy built up to take that loss on the chin and keep moving forward. sAw hasn't really messed with the B bomb site too much. Not towards dark, not towards main. So much focus on the A site, a lot of it coming through mid as well. And that's what Mongols is trying to figure out.
Gaining mid-control very quickly here for sAw. They haven't rounded that corner through those double doors. And when they eventually do, 910 is in the position he is commonly found. It's Temple, it's the same setup, and it could be the same result. Mizinho charging out into the open. This time 910's with him. And they take away that main prong to the approach through mid, but Arisdose senses the timing and some space to move through A. So he sprints forward, he smokes out Heaven. And Roman's waiting at B site.
Yeah, this would be a sick kill for him to find. Over towards Tempo, he can't do it. Dose provides two. There's Roman with the pounce, and the bomb is in no man's land, so it's very easy to fall back. sAw have put together another masterpiece.
That bomb's going to go down for Story, and Mazinho running down the beach, but Roman's already so deep inside of the cave. Mazinho's aware of that possibility. He's holding for it, but
he's got no health. He can't.
Not given the chance.
He can't even think about going for it. He's got to back away.
He's walking away into the storage of the AWP, and it's 5-1. What a start it is from sAw.
Yeah, this is getting painful for Mongols because they've had a lot of chances to put a stop to this. They're going to have one more. Mazinho can drop a rifle. 910 can buy. Senzu can buy. So Mongols certainly going to force up and challenge in this next round. The 7th round of play. But even when they get that mid stop, sAw's extremity players, Dose that round is a god. Senses the opening, fakes with utility to be an A play, sucks all the defense away from the B bomb site, leaving just one player to be lurked by Roman.
Double up setup for the Mongols. It's an expensive solution. Will it prove to be successful? sAw, they're heading towards B, and they are not putting any players elsewhere. It is a full commitment through B main. Contact explosion right into 910. Senzu undetected. Big swing from Roman. Techno stepping up. 910 there as well. And Mongols stop this A play, or rather B play, get right at the door because Story's left nowhere near his teammates. And it was an interesting call, one that just gets absolutely destroyed.
I think they get a little bit baited. I don't think they expected there to be a full buy on the map. I think they just misread the economy. They're looking to get in there and bully some pistols and maybe just deal with a couple players and get in. They didn't realize there'd be some rifles to support 910 and keep that space. Good setup, a crossfire at Pillar and Jail, and then the op back in the bomb site. 2nd round for the Mongols. And it's sAw who have the financial troubles. Despite the fact that they've won 5 of 6 rounds to this point.
Blitz. Ready to peek into middle. Roman's taken down, but there's no getting away if you're the AWP here. Eventually, Blitz is traded out by that Glock of U-Jerks. Doce.
Not again.
He's got the Tech 9, and this could break the Mongols very early in this half.
sAw's going to back away. They just realize everyone's kind of converging on their position. Molotov to give them no pathing forward. So back off and start taking advantage of how thinly the defense is going to be spread. Last time it was Story's hero op to net them the openings. This time it's Dose with the AK-47, the hero AK. And he's got another rifle and another op in his teammates' hands. This is perfect. And from here, it's going to be contact. Quiet. And that's been very effective against the Mongols. Although maybe not against the op.
910 sees the shadow, reacts, Materis down. Good trade from U-Jerks as they get into the site now. Senzu's burned away, but he spots out that bomb crossing. What a shot from U-Jerks. That's a 3rd in this round, and Mongols cannot handle him. They cannot put an end to him, and Mazinho is nowhere near this fight. He can't help out. It is going to be 16 rounds for sAw, and Mongols have had far too many of these heartbreaking rounds already.
Dude, U-Jerks is a god. Just
it's crazy how good he is.
The immediate trade on 910, but then the fast swing with the jump across for an instant headshot as well. If he keeps hitting shots like that, it's over. And a map like Anubis, I think...
I mean, we got to commentate sAw getting through to the major. We got to cover the action of their biggest feat in their careers, and we've seen who did it. It was U-Jerks taking over maps. You know, he would just be that rifler that just was unplayable. Didn't matter the level of opposition, he was just fragging out.
Yeah, he seems like he's a special talent, and it's going to be fun to watch him continue to develop in his career. Hopefully seeing him on these big stages more and more frequently. Second timeout forced out by Mongols. They'll have another bye. They've saved at least a weapon in every single round except for the pistol in this half, which is why they're constantly able to have so many force buys. Also, why it's so frustrating to see them continually not able to adapt. sAw's been able to get into bomb sites as much as they have pleased.
That is a hard sentence, though.
Nailed it.
To be fair.
They've got the bomb planted 5 of their 6 round wins on the T side.
Techno into the smoke. Takes a step back. The fire tickles his toes. They know exactly where he is based on that sound, and the Mongols' defense is collapsing again. But Blitz, he builds it back up with 2 kills on that M4. There's still a lot of time, and 910 has already arrived to this side of the map, ready to go. But the bomb is now planted. Time begins to shrink. 910's timing to look away works out for Story. Mateera's there with him, and the Portuguese are pummeling the Mongols' defense.
Yeah, disconnected in the post plant is Mongols. His teammates smoked out. 910 is still kind of creeping up, putting himself in a very exposed position to multiple angles, and just didn't have the timing, looking at the wrong place at the wrong time. That was maybe the easiest post plant that sAw could have hoped for in that scenario. One coming through smoke, one looking the wrong direction. 5-round lead.
Blitz has invested everything he had into an M4. The rest of his squad have left some residual cash over, and they've gone for pistols and MP9. It's not pretty for Mongols. That's Utrecht again, unstoppable in middle. The one rifle that Mongols had is now down. And I think we have to start talking about, at some point soon, where the Mongols go if they lose this. It's down into that lower bracket. It's not elimination. They'll play against the winner of Pain 9Z. But then, from that point onwards, if they get through that game, that is also the bracket that contains Astralis, G2, and Spirit. This is their best opportunity. This is the best opportunity for both teams to make it to the Lanxess. It becomes unlikely if they lose this series.
And you would have realized that coming into this as well. And that's where hopefully the experience, well, with these guys inexperienced, that's where experience generally lets you put that in the back of your mind and forget about it, not think about it. But it might be something that's knocking on the door of the brainstem of the Mongols players here. Erisdil's going to lead the way. Mizzino close up. Shadow shows. Fight 1. And even 2 kills from Senzu might set up Techno's 5-7, but he can't find a second.
And the rounds just keep racking up.
I feel like he was talking shit, but he's so nice about it.
I think I just understood one number.
Okay.
But maybe wrong. The story with these two teams is kind of, they're at different points in their careers, right? You've got sAw, who are having the peak of their careers a little bit later on in life. You know, we were talking about 2009, Mateera's was playing Counter-Strike. These Mongols players were just kind of figuring out how to do all the basic human stuff, like breathe and walk and eat. So it's crazy. There are different points in their careers, but they're both fighting for their first chance into that Lanxess arena. And right now, it looks like sAw are in that powerful position. Double up setup for Mongols, and Techno in dark has to take a few steps back here. He might be pressured from 2 sides, though, because it's a split being set up for sAw.
Oh, here it comes. Senzu, blinded, flames everywhere. Gets 1, but his teammates have all fallen. It's all on his shoulders now, and he can't find another. And once again, sAw ask for the B-bomb site. They get the B-bomb site.
I don't even think they ask. They just take it. They just walk in, they snatch it out of the hands. Mongols aren't here in this deciding map, and that is a depressing reality, but it is true. They've had so many different looks. They've invested in double ops. They've changed their setups. But sAw don't care. And it's a team effort again, as it has been so many times for sAw. Of course, you have your standout players with their impactful moments, but the majority across the board here all do their part for their squad.
The calling on this map has been obviously light years ahead of what TheMongolz is able to do on the defense. sAw has been running them ragged around this map, more so than Ancient, more so than Nuke. You can tell that there's a tactical depth to sAw that TheMongolz today cannot handle. And then you add Jerks on top, and then you add Erisdos on top.
Last round of this first half. If sAw collect a 10th, this is pretty much a sentence to the lower bracket for the TheMongolz. They push the canal, they push right into Materis, and he drowns them out. But 9-10 in Blitz, keeping these numbers even at least. Jerk starts to make his way through middle. 9-10, brought down low. Materis is taken out by Techno. It is a one-player lead for the side of the TheMongolz for the time being. But that bomb, it's starting to go into this A site.
Smoke creates some space to work with. It's just Story. He had a 1v3 on Ancient. See if he can get himself another. Blinded. Oh, no way. It's on, baby.
He writes it right away. It's the turn on towards Techno. 2 players low in front of him. He goes to the P250. It's a nice shot, but it's not the clutch. And the TheMongolz will grab themselves a 3rd round at the end of this half. It is a disappointing CT side showing for the TheMongolz, and it is looking like sAw will be heading to the Lanxess.
It's never easy. Nothing comes easy at IEM Cologne, and TheMongolz is finding that out the hard way. They're down 6 rounds, 3-9. They have yet to show up in the server on this third and deciding map against sAw, who's marching towards a playoff spot inside the Lanxess.
It is crazy to see how much sAw has improved this year. This is the greatest year of their careers. They make their first major, and now they're on the brink of making their first appearance in the Lanxess arena at their first IEM Cologne appearance. It's fantastic to see from sAw, but TheMongolz will see what kind of fight they can put up on the T side. Mazinho at the front.
This round should be theirs with no problem.
Yep, that entry kill is clean, and sAw were stacked elsewhere. So, does not go well for them initially.
They have a smoke, they've got 2 flashbangs to activate this retake, but they don't have a kit. So these kills got to come fast, and they got to get started early in this bomb timer. 1 in jail. Information gathered.
Sierra swings to the back of the platform. Those Jewel Berettas rattling away. 9-10 steps up. 2 Glock kills back. But it's all the CTs getting the frag. Suddenly Blitz left alone. And there's time for this for sAw. There's time to break the TheMongolz. Blitz goes down and sAw retake the site.
Filthy, filthy retake from sAw. Fine work with the dualies. Getting the opening kill to really get things started. And then pinning Blitz down behind the pillar. So many bullets.
If you're TheMongolz, you really needed to win this pistol round. It was almost essential. You get the clean entry, you get the bomb into the site, and sAw come back in, slinging their way into a retake.
10-3, they can feel it now. And once again, TheMongolz, much like Nuke, they're going, it's just going to be that force buy path. It's going to be constant buys every single round until they either break free or lose. TheMongolz played a very simplistic style on Nuke that sAw had no problem reading. Grouped it up, 4-1s, 5-man plays, sticking all together.
They are playing that simplistic group play through mid this time. Blitz at the double doors. sAw have presence in middle. Story took a dink. He's down to 4 HP. And Matirus knows there's pressure now being applied towards his position. He can't walk out of that smoke because of the fire, but he's going to bide his time. He's calling their coming camera. Matirus does go through that smoke, and the intended result for the TheMongolz works out. Roman sprints in behind, keeps these numbers even, and now they have to focus on the bomb plant. Udrix is coming back in from storage, and he's looking to box up this round, looking to take away his first victim off the fountain, but Mazinho had weapon superiority at range, and Roman just fires himself through that smoke to his death. It's a 4th round for TheMongolz. They needed that one, and at least they have a chance to get off to a decent start here in the second half.
Anything but that MP9 for Udrix, and that's a different situation. I like this play from Matirus to bait for his teammate, just comes charging through the smoke so he dies, but that allows his teammate to come through behind him because TheMongolz think they've taken care of the position. Doesn't net them a win. But TheMongolz stay alive here a little bit longer, 4-10. It seems so overwhelming just because of how the first half looked, how dominant it was for sAw.
It's true. And then you lose the pistol in the second half.
Yeah, but this is still a map and a series that the TheMongolz can come back in and win.
How legendary that would be.
We know the CT side for every team on this map can sometimes, some games, against some opponents on the right day, it's very tough. We've seen CT sides on Anubis get battered.
sAw have that added pressure that they're now 3-round wins away from qualification to the playoffs. Grenade lands on the head of Story. TheMongolz not giving them any opportunities. They want to try and keep this one as clean as possible. They'll start to drift their forces in towards the B-bomb site. There is no one here from sAw. It will be an empty site to work with. Story's going to try and get him behind, but how much can he really do with a 5-7?
Nothing. I think by the time they get in and realize it's clear, yeah, Techno's going to turn and look for the flank. So he's spotted out very early, and sAw will just save. Do it all over again in the next round.
Well, if you're a Mongols fan and you're full of positivity, they're halfway there.
Halfway to tying it up.
Yeah, halfway to tying the scoreline up.
Yeah, but not halfway for the win.
No. That's why I said if you're positive, you know?
Okay, yeah.
And then when you're at 10, you know, then it's really on.
Sure. This is all assuming sAw doesn't win another round before then. There's a lot of assumptions being made here.
Yeah, well, I like to make an ass out of you and me. This will be a long old save for these pistols.
Yeah, very long save. But it gives them time to chat. Gives them time to talk about how they want to play the next round. Talk about some of their plans coming the gun round.
Terrorists win.
Good opportunity to make sure everyone's on the same page. This ended up being the only kill in the round.
What a great kill it was, Mazinho.
It was. If
Well
that was
done.
going to be the only one, that's the one I like to see.
That was beautiful.
10-5.
Well, it's going to be a similar story in terms of what sAw are able to bring to this round. So the Mongols should be grabbing 6. Then it doesn't really look that bad from that point, you
And then
know?
they're halfway to overtime.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so many positives here. Story coming out of A main. Mazinho blinded, forced back into Rug. Senzu is not a comfortable fight, but one that he eventually will win. And Mazinho's grenade searches out Mutirus, takes him out of there. Now a 5 versus 3. The Mongols should be able to just turn to a swift victory.
Just got to deal with Roman first. And that's completed.
Job done.
Okay, so we'll see what sAw's going to look like when they get the guns back out on the CT side.
Terrorists win.
I don't think we'll see an AWP quite yet. They'll have to start this with 4 M4s. Nobody really has the money to buy one or drop it over.
Yeah, unless you would just throw away someone's Kevlar, which would be ill-advised. So it is going to be full rifles for sAw. Heaps of utility out across the board. And the Mongols with 5 rifles too. A Galil for Techno. Keep eyes on that. But everything else looking dandy as we head into round 17. The Mongols campaign to tie this game up, take the lead on the T side, starts now. 9-10, half of his health gone in an instant. Senzu walking up, getting spotted by Ujerks, who tosses out utility, and that'll slow down any sort of advancements into the darkness.
Yeah, it's going to start pulling at third players here. The fourth player Story in middle is leaning towards the idea, but holding back for the moment. At the same time as there's dark pressure, Mongols is also showing A main utility to take map control. So sAw has pressure on both sides of the map, both bomb sites. Look at all the counter utility they forced out.
There's 1 smoke left and a minute on the clock.
Yeah, this is actually, this opening from Mongols has been really, really good.
The B setup is Ujerks and a Roman.
And because they have no utility, they have to play this passive setup. They have to play this like almost half retake where you're trying to get kills on the entry, not trying to stop them in the choke points, but as they progress to the site.
And they'll bring Mutirus in. An extra player to give a hand to sAw's B defense. First kill is Roman. Oh, what a clear from Senzu, but Ujerks steps up in his stead. A follow-up from Ujerks. They can't get through him. And finally, Techno arrives at that Galil. But the Mongols not comfortable yet. Those 2 kills give them a fighting chance. But the bomb is not planted. The fights keep coming. Techno with that follow-up, but Aristose slips the net, gets in beside them. And 9-10 is so low on health, and now he's low on time. Aristose peeks from behind the pillar, and it's sAw up to 11. That is a huge step up from Ujerks and Aristose.
They could never get the clean entries. Ujerks with that triple kill is so massive. Obviously, 3 kills is everything, but you slow it down. Look at how many players from sAw were able to get there before the bomb site was even taken, before the bomb was even thought of to be planted. Ujerks just delivering all day long. 14 kills. Aristose 14 kills next to him. The rifle strength of sAw is on top here on Anubis, and it's a timeout called. This one by sAw out of a victory with the understanding that one player survives, money is busted, a Mongols victory here, and this gap will close. We're not done yet with this series. Round 18. 2 SMGs, MP9 on Mutiris, and Story. Mongols have a ton of cash. They've got another full buy. They've got another one behind this. sAw fighting tooth and nail. And once again, early pressure from the Mongols, this time in middle, has forced the defense extremely passive. And Mutiris is just gonna dip all the way back and rotate to the A bomb site. 3 players here.
Ten's shoulder spotted Varsdose. It's a tough shot to land for the AWPer. And now Mongols are paused out inside of mid.
It's a perfect final piece of utility for sAw in terms of your smokes, right? It's completely negated the smoke thrown in middle by the Mongols. Those smokes will
Little panic.
stall themselves out, and all of a sudden, they'll have vision and information.
Story takes a few steps forward. Now a tight corner to clear from Mazinho, and great headshot. Varsdose though, double from the fountain. His teammate goes down. Varsdose's then left out to dry, and 9-10's AWP will bring him off the top. Plant is coming in. Mongols with the player advantage into this post plant. And Nuke is still on that beach. He's coming up to join Roman
Don't
now.
expect the timing!
Oh, the timing's so good. Roman slips out. Oh, second player still standing. Blitz alive on low health. But Udrix now comes in from heaven, and they're looking elsewhere. He would have peeked by now, surely, if he was coming in from heaven. But Udrix down against Techno, and he dives into the site. He's got the plant for him. Techno throws the utility in, and the grenade gets the job done. Udrix doesn't stick it. Techno will pull it off, and the Mongols don't have to stare at map and Thierry's point here against the side of sAw.
I'm so happy Techno won that 1v1 because he was playing so dedicated to A main. Blitz inside the bomb site had to worry about so many choke points. He was looking everywhere, trying to find a timing, and Techno wasn't spotting anything for him. A really nice clutch with that HE grenade, anticipating the swing. Fortunate that Udrix doesn't have a kit, otherwise that defuse is just stuck.
Just USPs for sAw, so this will be a moment for everybody to catch their breath and settle into this one, especially for the Mongols.
It's sAw's turn to struggle with this CT side. They too.
That's true.
Really not having a good time, really not able to find solutions. I feel like they haven't been put out of, I mean, I obviously mentioned it, there's a deeper tactical depth in my mind on sAw than Mongols. So they haven't been like worked around the map and just kind of made to look foolish in the same way. But they have the problem of kind of like Ancient, where that round you had 3 players at the A-bomb site. You're able to kind of read where it's going, you're just not able to put a stop to it.
Well, sAw had to take the full eco. Now they've got the buyback. No AWP for Story, which can make massive differences on the CT side. They'll just play with rifles. And it's just that feeling of Mongols getting ever closer if they pick this round up. Story. Oh, this could be nasty.
It's so bold.
This is such a risk in a round like this. At this point in the game, he's not going to continue his push just yet. He's waiting on that fade to the smoke. 9-10's watching for it. This AWP surely will strike him down. It is going to be the shot for 9-10 that just knocks Story out of middle. Techno could go down outside of B here. Udrix trying to get that fight back and does so very effectively. Techno's now gone, and we're under a minute.
That kind of a push and kill, I think, should tell sAw that A is the most likely finishing move. Mongols isn't going to want to mess with this B bomb site, thinking they don't have control of main anymore.
So that's the heaven smoke coming in from Mongols to follow up Molotov. Flashes raining into that position. And Blitz is here to try and stop the rotation from Temple to Camera.
One of those two players needs to go through CT spawn and get to beach quickly. That might have been a little early from Mizzino. Nobody can trade it. Mongols trying to work the map instead of trade and brute force, which has been their style through this whole series.
20 seconds. Senzu tries to fake out that it's going to end on B. He's trying to move that defense, but it isn't convincing enough for Arisdotse. He will sit inside of the site. They're running back now to try and get to A in time. 9 seconds. Blitz cuts off the rotation of Roman, but inside of the site, this is the fight that matters. 4 seconds. That plant is coming in, and Blitz is defending his squad. It was so close for the Mongols. Just enough time to get that bomb planted. And Udrex is gone. He's saving, but 9 rounds for Mongols now. This game is on a knife's edge at the moment.
They've got to be so stressed out. That's maybe the first time on this second half on this map that I think Mongols has really confused sAw as to what was happening. 3 players were at the B bomb site, leaving Arisdotse alone at A. And they just couldn't get back to him in time.
Yeah, that's the definition of squeaky bum time right there. Coming down to the final second before that plant starts coming in. Blitz is desperately trying to keep everybody away from Camera. He does a great job at being their bodyguard.
Actually, I mean, he would have had a free backstab on Arisdotse in the site if he kept moving forward until he heard the footsteps in mid. And that's when he had to stop and turn around. So in some way, like this rotation running into Blitz is kind of saved the potential victory for sAw. They had a chance after that because he wasn't coming in. 2 rounds away.
It's another situation where sAw have to think about the economy. So AK for Udrex, he needs to save that, but everybody else has to go to some upgraded pistols. Then we're looking at 11-10. And what a hell of a comeback this has been from the Mongols to get into this position.
Oh, the first time they played this earlier in the tournament, it was an overtime victory for the Mongols, correct?
For sAw.
sAw?
sAw able to pick up that first map and then went on to win the series. Gathering of forces behind the smoke. Mizzino repelled back.
They're hoping the Molotov would trap a few players inside of A main.
Here comes Mizzino. That 1 AK. He's done a lot of work already. Mizzino's down, and not a bad start to the round here for sAw. Techno had to get Arisdotse. Couldn't afford to go down the middle. Staying committed towards this A site, staying committed towards Udrek's rifle, but that's now down, and so the biggest threat no longer on the server. There are some smaller threats to worry about, and those will be dealt with in due course.
So Mongols now within 1. This was 3-9 at the half.
And then they lost the pistol round, right?
Then they lost pistol, and they have now won 7 of the last 8 to get us to this point.
Legendary comeback if Mongols are able to do this and get back into the playoffs.
And we've talked about it for so long, it feels like for years. Like, I think the first time I can recall anyone getting excited about in CSGO and CS2, like an Asian team coming out of that region and showing strength and showing danger, was like early 2016. Was Tyloo upsetting Luminosity, the event after they won the major, upset them at DreamHack Malmo. And ever since then, we've all just gotten so jacked up and excited every time we see an Asian team making improvements, taking steps forward, but none of them have been able to get to a point where you're in these big event playoffs. None of them have made it to a point where they're on the biggest stages. Mongols might be the first one to accomplish that here at Cologne.
And to do it from a country that has a population of 3.4 million people versus China of 1.3 billion people. I mean, we're looking at a huge disparity in terms of likelihood of this happening.
The handicap that they've had to embark on this journey with, considering whenever you need to make a roster change, like how do you find them? Where do you go? And they've mentioned it, just picking random people out of Random land centers in Mongolia, seeing something, seeing some potential, and just molding it and building it. To be at this point for the Mongols is impressive. We play again, sAw back to a full buy.
The initial utility being placed outside of A main. Arasdase is going to hear it, but it's the charge of the Mongols. They're riding into this A-bomb site, and Arasdase at the back of the site trying to stop their might. It's Senzu with that trade. Mutiras comes in from storage. Senzu goes down, and that's a good position for Mutiras to gain. It keeps his team close to the bomb site and with the player advantage. Blitz cuts open Roman as he tries to take the risk through the smoke. They're all charging in from heaven, and it would require divine intervention now to stop it, but that headshot from Uturks, that is huge on 910. The spray from Mazinho is a messy round, and now it's Blitz in a 1v2 with that kit on the defuse. It is so close. Blitz comes off it. He could have killed the diffuser, but he went back to heaven. Blitz was so close, but yet so far, and sAw now looking at 12 rounds. Oh, he's going to want that moment back.
He had it.
Oh,
He had it. He did everything right except switch his
dude,
target.
he just kills the diffuser. He wins the round. Oh, that's Counter-Strike, though.
That's a round he'll remember for years. If they fail to qualify here, descend into that lower bracket where G2, Spirit, Astralis are all waiting, that moment is going to haunt him for a long time.
Oh, that moment, and before that, obviously, Mazinho could have taken the heaven kill easier. There's just a couple of instances there for the Mongols where it falls apart, but that is definitely the key. Fortunate to have a timeout left this late in the game. The Mongolians...
I don't know, at this point I might just feel like you're spending 30 seconds staring at losing the series after a round like that.
They've got a good buy still. And they said it themselves, Mongolian blood is strong. And they've got to try and pull this back to overtime.
Saw these last two rounds that felt like there's going to be a B play. They put bodies there to activate some aggression. Good kill from Mutiras. Can't get the second one. Now they've got to hustle back and hustle forward on this flank for Ujerks. Because Mongols have been able to split this A bomb site, and it's very effective and very deadly.
Ujerks, what a star he has become. He goes into the mid flank. He doesn't go down. He does detect Techno.
Oh, he's so tense, so stressed. He didn't want to commit to that fight.
Doesn't want to be the player that goes down there.
No.
The Mongols are happy they haven't lost a member in the mid-fight. They've still got 1 minute left at a 4v4. But it's the canal that worries me because Story is there with the AWP. Mazinho's in the water. Senzu's coming to join him. But Story has been lights out. When given opportunities at times in this tournament, he's been a little quiet for his own standard on this map. But that's the shot that matters. Senzu, oh, and Mazinho down. Story brings them a step closer. It's Techno and Blitz in a 2v4, and sAw are staring at the Lanxess. Careers that started over 14 years ago. And they could be taking one of the biggest steps there is in Counter-Strike. Blitz with that headshot. Ujerks is down. He sends the molly in, but it's behind the players. They're able to run in front of it. They're able to run towards them. And Blitz now left trying to make up for his previous mistake, and he's damn close to it. But that flank from Dark, Roman brings him low, and Blitz goes back to it. Cannot stop Roman. This is a tale of persistence and dedication. For the players, the career started over 14 years ago. Through all the sacrifices and disappointment, the individuals of Story, Mutiras, Arasdase, Ujerks, and Roman are having the best year of their career. They will play in the Cathedral of Counter-Strike.